voice of the Longhorns, Craig Way.
You can call it March Madness if you like, or mayhem, or any other adjective you use to describe college basketball in this third month of the calendar year. The Texas Longhorns know that they need a little madness. They need a little mayhem and a little bit of help if they're going to try to reach the NCAA tournament. But first and foremost, it has to rest in their hands. And so they begin play today for the first time ever in a Southeastern Conference basketball tournament, going in as a double-digit seed. Good afternoon, everybody, from Bridgestone Arena here in downtown Nashville, Tennessee. It is upcoming a first-round SEC tournament matchup between the number 13 seed Texas Longhorns and the number 12 seed Vanderbilt Commodores. Texas will go into the game with a 17-14 record. They finished 6-12 in SEC play. Vanderbilt 20-11, and they finished 8-10 in SEC competition. I'm Craig Way alongside Eddie Orn here on the Corona pregame show. First thing we should tell you is we sit courtside here is you got a little bit of madness going on right now as the 9 seed Arkansas is playing the 16 seed South Carolina. And Arkansas, which was up 17 at the half, held a 20-point lead early in the second half. And, folks, we're here to tell you that with 3:35 to go, the Gamecocks are bringing the ball up to 4, down 1 point, 61-60. That's what happens in March. I guess teams start feeling free and easy, even in the second half when South Carolina was down 20 points. And you could tell they weren't giving up, and they just turned over the basketball. And Arkansas, you can tell, certainly appears to be the better team. However, the Longhorns know, as a basket's just been waved off for basket interference for Arkansas, that the Longhorns lost to both of these teams. In fact, lost to Arkansas twice, including once in overtime, and lost to South Carolina. So anything can and quite often does happen when you get to postseason play.
Yeah, it's a tale of two halves. I thought Arkansas, the second half, shot selection was a little quick, and I thought South Carolina did a good job of going inside with the basketball. So as a result, hanging around, they got a chance to win this thing now.
Yeah, so they are reviewing it to see if it was basket interference. We'll ask our engineer Cameron Parker to bring up the officials' mic to see if they announce it here. They haven't so quick. We didn't have a chance to get to it, but anyway, the call stands as it stands. But anyway, we know the Longhorns have a tough road to try to see if they can qualify for NCAA tournament play. The losses in recent games down the stretch, certainly to Arkansas in overtime. The one at South Carolina is certainly damaging. The home losses to Georgia and Oklahoma, all of those losses hurt. So now you get to March, there's not much you can do about that sort of thing. It's about just going out and trying to win a game and then see if you survive and advance to the next game. If they win their game this afternoon, the Longhorns against Vanderbilt, they would then move on to take on, guess who? Texas A&M, who got a one-day bye. Of course, the top 4 seeds got the double bye, and that would be Auburn, Florida, Alabama, and Tennessee. And then you have 4 other schools that received one-round byes, and those would be Ole Miss, Kentucky, and Missouri, among those that got the one-day bye in the SEC tournament. So here on the first day, you've got 4 games going on. There'll be 4 games tomorrow. There'll be 4 games Friday, and then semifinal Saturday and 1 game Sunday. And like we say, you just kind of pin your ears back and cut it loose.
Well, everybody knows each other so well. They've scouted, they've watched all year long, and they know each other. There'll be some new wrinkles, but to change subject a little bit, what a crowd for a first game. I mean, it's really unusual to see this, but they're here.
Yeah, in the neighborhood of about 15,000 for this. Of course, they'll do session attendance, and they'll have the attendance following the Texas-Vanderbilt game to give the final official attendance from the first session, the day session. But as it stands right now, huge crowd on hand to see this game, and Arkansas on a big shot hit by DJ Wagner, now up 4 at 64-60 with 2.5 minutes to go in the ball game. And there's a partisan Razorback crowd on hand. Of course, this is Texas' first time ever in the SEC tournament, and we do remember from the days, especially those who have been around, to see Texas play in the old Southwest Conference, realize that Arkansas fans can really dominate attendance. And while they don't completely dominate, because you got Kentucky fans here and Tennessee fans, there's a lot of red representing Arkansas here, and they're making a lot of noise. And it does kind of feel like an old throwback to those days when you were on Tom Penderstaff and the Longhorns and Razorbacks were battling at Reunion Arena in those Southwest Conference tournaments.
Yeah, it was great times. But, you point out earlier, look at all the blue here, and they don't even play Kentucky, but they love basketball. This part of the country just loves basketball, much like the ACC.
The winner of this game is going to play Ole Miss in the second round. Ole Miss drawing a one-day bye. Chris Beard, the one-time Texas head coach who's in his second season as head coach at Ole Miss, is here. They've shown a couple of shots in sitting with his daughter Avery courtside watching this. When you were a coach and you were going to play the winner of a matchup and you were there on the floor, and I know you did so many years of scouting for college, much like you've done in your NBA days, are you able to watch it and watch a game like this kind of dispassionately and not kind of let your emotions start thinking about what might happen?
Yeah, you sit there and watch it. You got two coaches. Both of you get to pick a team. And probably at the halftime, we probably say, all right, let's focus on Arkansas. No, not so quick. It's not happening that way. But you really try to see what they're doing different. You know what they're doing. You got everything in your mind what they're doing. Try to pick up some things they're doing different.
The Longhorns, of course, will be facing Vanderbilt for the second time this season. The only teams that Texas played twice this year during the regular season were Texas A&M, Oklahoma, and this Arkansas team. Those were the only teams the Longhorns faced twice during the year. Everybody else was once, and they were here in Nashville back on February 8th to play Vanderbilt. Texas got down 9 early, came back. Had a 5-point lead at halftime. Then expanded the margin to 9 in the second half. But Vanderbilt started going inside to their bench. Big man Jalen Carey, who had a double-double, career highs in points and rebounds. The transfer from James Madison. They got some key outside shots from Tyler Nickel and Jason Edwards. And Vanderbilt came back and he won the ball game by 8 points, 86-78. But that was one of many. As I mentioned, Texas is 17-14. It was one of many games that the Longhorns feel were there for the taking and they just didn't finish.
Well, 17 offensive boards, 25 points was the difference, I thought, in the game as far as Vanderbilt. They hit the offensive board. And Carey didn't even start, but he came in. He's got girth, he's got size, he's got quickness for his size, and he scored around the bucket. You're exactly right. And they dominated because we were up, 4 points at halftime, and they dominated inside the second half.
Yep. No doubt about that. They are down to a minute 20 to go in this game with Arkansas up 66-62 on South Carolina, and the Razorbacks in possession and trying to run out the clock in this one. So, with only one game, and one thing we did notice, Eddie, quite a bit over the past couple days, because the Longhorns came in on Monday evening and had a full day yesterday to practice, went over and actually, ironically, practiced at Memorial Gymnasium because the team hotel is astride the Vanderbilt campus, and so they went over to Memorial Gym and got in a full practice there, then came over here to Bridgestone Arena where every team is allotted 40 minutes on the floor getting shots up and just getting used to the rims. So they did do that. And then one thing that we've noticed in the team scouting sessions that we've sat in on with the team and seen, that a lot of the video cut-ups, a lot of the digital work that they've done, normally when you're on the road or even at home and they're looking at digital video cut-ups of the opponent, they're showing games like, for example, if they're playing Ole Miss, they might show Ole Miss against Arkansas or Ole Miss against LSU or Ole Miss against Florida. We saw a lot of the Texas Vanderbilt cut-ups. They were reviewing that first game. And even when we were in Fayetteville for the rematch with Arkansas, a lot of what they were showing the players then wasn't necessarily the first game, which had been a month prior between Arkansas and Texas. And it's been just a little bit over a month since the game here in Nashville. They had a lot to show the guys from that first meeting back on February 8th right here in Nashville.
There's no doubt about it. And then they'll go to a game like Tennessee and show how they got the pick and roll against Tennessee. But you're exactly right. They're really focused on a lot of things. And, these guys, a lot of these guys, young guys, they never studied a lot of videos. So it's really good. And these guys do a good job with it, showing them, picture's worth 1,000 words. But, they do a good job of going out over it. They try to do everything. They eat same time, they go to practice same time. They try to get on the same schedule as this 2 o'clock tip.
Which is interesting because, this game will tip off right at around the 2:30 start time. If they win to advance to play Texas A&M, tomorrow's game would also be at 2:30 if they were to win that game and advance to the quarterfinals to play Tennessee. That also would be at 2:30. So they are, to your point, able to kind of stay on that particular time frame and that particular schedule, and that's what they did with the practice yesterday.
Yeah, and I think you see the rotation becomes really interesting. It becomes really important. Game rotation as far as getting ready for the next game. You don't want to save everything, but you gotta make sure that you got your guys fresh and you really rotate in and out.
Arkansas still up on South Carolina 66-64, and there are 42.4 seconds remaining in the ball game, and Arkansas does have possession. And again, the Razorbacks, the number 9 seed, and South Carolina, the number 16. Listen, a 16 has already beaten a 9 in one of the power conferences. That was Colorado beating TCU in Kansas City yesterday. So certainly, like we said, in March, nothing's out of the realm of possibility. But John L. Davis able to rattle one in with a left-hand roller. We saw quite a bit of him in both of them matchups between Texas and Arkansas. Under a half minute to go with Arkansas up 4, so time running out on South Carolina. And they'll try to get close on the three-pointer that was badly missed. Arkansas the rebound, and that may well do it. Razorbacks with it in a foul there. So it's 68-64, 16 seconds to go. Arkansas going to the foul line and in position to win, to survive and advance, because they were up 20 and the lead was cut to 1 at 61-60, and South Carolina had possession twice to take a lead and couldn't do it, but Arkansas is going to advance in here. All right, coming up on the Corona pregame show, certainly we'll take a closer look at the Vanderbilt Commodores. We'll have our pregame conversation with Longhorns head coach Rodney Terry. But up next, our old pal Dave Pulaski is in our Longhorn Radio Network studios from Learfield. He will tell you how this one finishes out here between Arkansas and South Carolina. He'll take a look at the rest of the SEC tournament bracket and schedule, the other Division I conference tournament games going on, all that and more when we continue from Nashville here on a Wednesday afternoon when Longhorn basketball continues in a moment.
It's better over here. After investing billions to light up our network, T-Mobile is America's largest 5G network. Plus, right now, you can switch, keep your phone, and we'll pay it off up to $800. See how you can save on every plan versus Verizon and AT&T at T-Mobile.com/across-America. Up to 4 lines via virtual prepaid card. Allow 15 days. Qualifying unlocked device. Credit service ported 90+ states with device and eligible carrier, and timely redemption required. Card has no cash access and expires in 6 months.
In the game of business, information is your playbook. It's the thing that keeps everyone on the same page so that each player has the knowledge they need to perform their role, work together, and give your team a competitive advantage. The trick, of course, is executing that playbook. And that's where Rico comes in. We're a proud sponsor and business technology provider of Texas Athletics, and we're ready to play for your team whenever you want an edge. We love TMI. Hook 'em horns, Rico. Imagine change.
It's Kubota Orange Days. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs, get your perfect match delivered to your door. And now through June 30th, get zero down, 0% APR for 84 months on select compact tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
From the Texas coast to the Texas Hill Country, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer. Visit us online at ewaldkubota.com.
Fly to Philly, take off to Tampa, depart for Denver. Following your team on the road is more rewarding with the American Airlines Advantage program. Your flights and everyday spend not only earn you miles toward your next trip, but also loyalty points toward Advantage status. All the more reason to purchase both a home and away jersey. With status comes great benefits like priority boarding, free check bags, and complimentary upgrades. Not a member? Enroll for free today at AA.com. American Airlines, you are why we fly. Terms and conditions apply.
It is Texas and Vanderbilt this afternoon here at Bridgestone Arena, downtown Nashville, Tennessee, in the Southeastern Conference Tournament. Craig Way and Eddie Orrin with you courtside here on the Corona pregame show. In our Longhorn Radio Network studios from Learfield, we'll look not only at this game that's about to conclude between Arkansas and South Carolina, but the rest of the SEC tournament bracket, other Division I conference tournament, men's and women's basketball, Longhorn news, and a lot more is our old friend Dave Pulaski. Good afternoon, Dave.
Hey, good afternoon, Craig. It's fun to be part of the postseason party here in the SEC as we now make our maiden appearance with the Longhorns taking on Vanderbilt today. The game that's going on right now and is about to conclude at Bridgestone Arena is Arkansas and South Carolina. The number 9 seed Razorbacks tangling with the number 16 seed Gamecocks. And for a while, it was looking pretty good for the Razorbacks before it got a little bit dicey.
He'll lob it for Pringle, but he missed the dunk. He missed the dunk, and Brazil's out of there with a rebound. Hogs in transition. They'll lob it to Billy on the other end, and he throws it down. Richmond didn't miss, and Arkansas's back up by 20.
That's Chuck Barrett from Learfield. Yeah, you heard that right. 20. It was a 20-point lead for Arkansas, 54-34, with 17:08 remaining in the second half. South Carolina actually trimmed it all the way down to a 1-point game at 61-60, but the Razorbacks have since taken control. They are now up 70-64 in the final seconds of that game, and right now, Adu with a double-double, 14 points and 11 boards for the Razorbacks as they look to close out South Carolina and end what has been a really rough season for the Gamecocks, 2-16 in SEC play during the regular season. Arkansas still in contention to get into the NCAA tournament. Currently, they're on the good side, according to ESPN's bracketology, among the last 4 buys for March Madness. In ESPN's bracketology projections, they're trying to get their 20th win on the season if they can hold on here. South Carolina just scored a bucket on a layup by Wright, and with 8 seconds to go, it is now 70-66. Arkansas in front as they try and milk that clock away. Other games that are going on, the night session in Nashville tonight will feature number 10 seed Mississippi State and number 15 seed LSU, with the winner taking on Missouri in the second round tomorrow. It'll be a 6 o'clock tip-off between the Bulldogs and the Tigers. LSU having lost their last 4 meetings with Mississippi State dating all the way back to February of 2022. Bulldogs won 81-69 in Starkville just a little over a week and a half ago. Mississippi State with a narrow 93-92 loss at Arkansas on Saturday. They dropped 4 of the last 5 games, the only win in that stretch coming against LSU. But Mississippi State has won at least one SEC tournament game each of the last 3 years. They've won 3 titles going back to their most recent one in 2009. LSU, they are also successful in SEC tournament play during the last couple of years. Reached a championship game back in 2021. Then they made it to the semifinals in last year's appearance. And right now, LSU trying to get themselves off of a 5-game losing streak, all coming against ranked opponents. They fell by 14 against Texas A&M in their regular season finale on Saturday. Rounding out the schedule for tonight in Bridgestone Arena, number 11 seed Georgia and number 14 seed Oklahoma. And these two teams squarely on the bubble, especially Oklahoma. They're among the last 4 into the tournament in ESPN's bracketology projections, currently at 19-12. Bulldogs may have played their way into the field by topping Vanderbilt 79-68 on Saturday. They're on a 4-game winning streak, which started with a victory at home against third-ranked Florida. They also beat Oklahoma during the regular season, 72-62 on January 11th. And Mike White looking for a milestone win. His next victory would be the 300th of his career. He's 299 and 172 in 14 years as a head coach, now in his 3rd year at Georgia. And he has guided the Bulldogs to a 2nd straight 20-win season. First time they've done 20 wins in the regular season since 2015. Oklahoma, of course, just like Texas, playing their first ever SEC tournament game. They are 5-0 in neutral site games this year. Last won the Big 12 tournament title back in 2003 when they rattled off 3 in a row. Taking a look at what's ahead in SEC basketball, of course, the winner of this Arkansas-South Carolina game, which is now 70-68. South Carolina was able to get a steal and a dunk to make it a 70-68 game with 3 seconds left. And Arkansas getting fouled off the inbound in the final second. So Arkansas somehow making this interesting, even in the waning moments, even with a 6-point lead with 8 seconds left. Now a 2-point game with 2 seconds remaining and trying to ice the game at the free throw line. The winner of this game will take on number 8 seed Ole Miss in the second round to kick things off tomorrow at noon, with the winner of that one taking on number 1 seed Auburn in the quarterfinals on Friday. Ole Miss with their 2nd straight 20-win season, although they stumbled down the stretch going 2-4 in their last 6 games. The winner of our game will go up against number 5 seed Texas A&M in the second round tomorrow, with the winner taking on Tennessee awaiting in the quarterfinals on Friday. Texas A&M has reached the SEC tournament semifinals or better in each of the last 3 years. They have not won a title in SEC tournament play in their previous 11 appearances. They won at LSU 66-52 on Saturday. They topped Auburn last Tuesday 83-72, had lost 4 in a row prior to that, so the win over number 1 Auburn was able to get themselves back on track. The night session tomorrow will have number 7 Missouri going up against either Mississippi State or LSU. Mizzou with a 91-83 loss against 19th-ranked Kentucky on Saturday. A 3-game losing streak for the Tigers. They've allowed 90 or more points in all 3 of those setbacks. And rounding out the field for Thursday's second-round games, it'll be number 6 seed Kentucky, their lowest seed that they've had since 2021 when they were the number 8 seed in the SEC tournament. They're usually used to being top 2 or 3. They've won 31 SEC tournament titles. Second most behind them is Alabama with 8. So 23 more SEC tournament titles than the next best team for the Kentucky Wildcats. They've won 3 of the last 4 after outscoring Missouri on Saturday in the regular season finale. We'll take a timeout. When we come up, we will get you updated on everything that's going on around the 40 acres in athletics, and we will also get you up to speed on the top 25 as well as other action taking place in Division I basketball. A couple of NCAA tournament tickets will be punched tonight. We'll have the details on that coming up next as Texas squares off against Vanderbilt in the first round of the SEC men's basketball tournament in Nashville. You're listening to the Longhorn Radio Network from Learfield.
I'm Dog, and I need you to help me take a bite out of crime. Another teenager, victim to fake pills bought from social media. This doesn't seem like a drug deal, but it definitely is. Should buying prescription pills be that easy? Many fake pills contain fentanyl, and an amount small enough to fit on the tip of a pencil can be lethal. So listen, before buying pills from social media, think again. Learn more at mcgruffpsa.org and go for real. Brought to you by USPTO and the National Crime Prevention Council.
Yes! I finally got my first phone!
It is exciting. Let's learn a few things about online safety first.
We can secure our world. Online security depends on you and me. Install updates, make better passwords. Think before you click. Use multiple factors. That's how we can secure our world.
Learn more at CISA.gov/secure our world.
Everyone has a community, a neighborhood, school, kids' teams, where you worship, work out, or any other place or group where you choose to belong. Communities can provide support when you need it, and even when you don't know you do. Like when it comes to preventing underage drinking and other substance use. Community members can be your eyes and ears when you're not with your kids and alert you to signs of potential problems. Learn more at talktheyhearyou.samhsa.gov.
Kids ask their parents a lot of questions.
Why can't people fly?
Gravity.
Is the moon really made of cheese?
Yep, cream cheese.
When can I move into a big kid's car seat?
For some questions, parents may not have the answer, but that's okay. They can't know everything, but knowing the right seat for their age and size will help protect them in a car crash. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Where do babies come from?
Good luck, Dad. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
On the Corona pregame show as Texas gets set to square off with Vanderbilt in the first round of the SEC men's basketball tournament. Dave Pulaski inside the Learfield Network studios. Time now for your WinStar World Resort Studio Report as we take a look at other action going on around the 40 acres and in the world of college basketball as we get knee-deep into March Madness now with Conference Tournament Week now in full swing. We've had the littler conferences getting their due and fair share, and now the big guys are starting to flex their muscles now with the SEC, Big Ten, ACC tournaments now getting into action as well. But first, let's give you an update on what's going on around Austin. Texas women's basketball, they've already wrapped up the SEC women's basketball tournament, of course, reaching the finals in their first ever year in the conference. They came up short against South Carolina in that title game in Greenville, South Carolina, but now they await their March Madness assignment. ESPN Bracketology projecting them to be a number 1 seed and a regional host when the NCAA tournament selections happen on Sunday night. Meanwhile, Texas baseball, they continue their winning ways. They have run their record to 14 consecutive victories, topping UT Arlington 7-4 Tuesday night at the Dish. They have won 14 straight since that narrow season opening loss in 10 innings against Louisville in the Shriners Children's College Classic at Globe Life Field in Arlington. Now the Longhorns embarking on their first ever SEC opening weekend this Friday at Mississippi State for a 3-game series. Friday's matchup with the Bulldogs gets underway at 6 p.m. Saturday's at 2 o'clock. Sunday's finale at Dudy Noble Field in Starkville is set for 1 p.m. And Texas softball, they're sitting pretty right now. They're number 1 in the nation, riding a 15-game winning streak, currently boasting a 26-1 record. They have a tough task this weekend, a big showdown with number 3 Florida in Gainesville this Saturday through Monday. So now let's turn our attention over to college basketball once again, as we will get you updated on everything going on around the top 25. Only one top 25 team in action today, and they actually already played. Kicking off the second round of the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City, number 12 Iowa State tops Cincinnati easily 76-56 as Joshua Jefferson runs off 19 points and 8 rebounds in the victory for the Cyclones, who are now 24-8 on the season. Bearcats season most likely comes to an end at 18-15. They went 7-13 in Big 12 play this year. Updating you on some of the other action going on in the ACC second round, Georgia Tech in the 8-9 game against Virginia tops the Cavaliers 66-60. So it'll be the Yellow Jackets matching up with number 1 seed Duke tomorrow at noon to get the quarterfinals started in Charlotte. Meanwhile, speaking of Charlotte, in the American Athletic Conference Championship play-in game, it was at the Super Pit in Denton. 12-13 matchup between Charlotte and Rice, and the 49ers come away with a 64-61 win. So now Charlotte will advance into the main bracket of the American Athletic Conference tournament, and that will be taking place at Dickies Arena in Fort Worth. Games that are going on deciding conference championships tonight. You have the Patriot League final featuring Navy and American University. Navy's been on a nice run. They topped the number 1 seed Bucknell in the semifinals to get to the championship game at 15-18. American University will be hosting that matchup 21-12 on the year when they went 13-5 in Patriot League play. So that will be one of the tickets that will be punched tonight. Also going on, the Southland final between McNeese and Lamar. McNeese at 26-6 on the year. Lamar going 20-12 this season. That'll be a 4 o'clock tip-off from Lake Charles. And you also have the Big Sky Tournament Championship game taking place late tonight, as that will have Montana and Northern Colorado going head-to-head. Both of those teams going 15-3 in Big Sky play. Montana in search of their 25th win of the season. Northern Colorado is already there at 25-8. So already we've had several tickets already punched for the NCAA tournament. Lipscomb out of the Atlantic Sun. High Point will make their first ever appearance out of the Big South Conference. UNC Wilmington won the Coastal Athletic Association title. Robert Morris wins the Horizon League last night. Drake, with their 30 wins this year, captures the Missouri Valley. St. Francis of Pennsylvania, with a losing record, wins the Northeast Conference title. They'll most likely be headed to Dayton for the first round and the first 4 coming up next week. SIU Edwardsville will make their first ever NCAA tournament appearance. Wofford wins the SoCon. Omaha in the Summit League. Troy wins the Sun Belt. And Gonzaga tops St. Mary's last night, the nationally ranked Gales, in their championship matchup. And once again, it'll be the Zags representing the West Coast Conference as the automatic bid. St. Mary's will undoubtedly get an at-large selection, and that could possibly steal a bid from the others hoping for an NCAA tournament appearance. It did go final in the first game of the day in Nashville. Arkansas outlasting South Carolina 72-68. It was once a 20-point lead for the Razorbacks. South Carolina trimmed it down to 1 at 61-60, but the Hogs made their free throws down the stretch. They went 15 of 16 at the line for the ball game, and they come away with a 72-68 win over South Carolina in the opening game of the day of the SEC tournament. So now the Longhorns and the Vanderbilt Commodores hitting the floor to get warmed up for today's ball game. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we'll hear from head coach Rodney Terry as we get set for the Horns and the Doors. First round of the SEC men's basketball tournament from Nashville on the Longhorn Radio Network.
Cheers to a great day and this ice-cold Corona.
You know what would make this day even better? My grandma's carne asada.
Or your grandma here with us, making carne asada.
She does love a cold Corona.
Throw in some dancing.
Oh, we can watch the game.
I'll drink to that.
So a backyard concert with football, food, dancing, and Corona?
And your grandma.
Or we could keep it simple.
Simple is good. Want a Corona?
Thanks. Salud to the perfect day.
Corona, la vida más fina. Get your Corona at ordercorona.com. Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Import, Chicago, Illinois.
With so many distractions in life, are you finding it hard to focus on the present, constantly looking down instead of looking up, feverishly trying to capture the moment instead of taking it in? Feel Free by Botanic Tonics can help. The calm, relaxing effects of kava root, coupled with other plant-based ingredients, make for the perfect balanced boost to help keep you in the now. Discover the magic of plants with Feel Free. Texas fans can save $40 on their first order with code BEVO40. That's code BEVO40 at feelfree.com.
When faced with a disaster, the Cotton companies never fumble. As the trusted recovery partner of global businesses, Cotton is proud to provide property restoration, construction, roofing, temporary housing, culinary, and environmental support services. We're also restoring a long-standing Texas tradition as a proud partner of University of Texas Athletics and the official sponsor of the Lone Star Showdown. One call, one team. Total recovery. Learn more at cottoncompanies.com.
Welcome to the world of WinStar, where the thrills are bigger than ever. Get lost in our 2-story luxury spa. Enjoy 36 holes of championship golf. Savor a world of dining experiences. Rest in one of our vast hotel towers and catch the biggest names in music and comedy at the spectacular Lucas Oil Live, all just 1 hour north of DFW. So come live in the wow at the world of WinStar.
Back here in Nashville on the Corona pregame show, and time for our pregame conversation with Longhorns head coach Rodney Terry. We've talked about this in the past, that the postseason, you want it to be fun. Obviously, there's business at hand to try to take care of, and the urgency is there for the wins. But how do you and the staff approach that with the guys about enjoying March, but by the same token, understanding what's important and what's at stake here?
Well, I think, again, Craig, I mean, you're spot on in terms of, if you're a college basketball player, it's the best time of the year for you, and that's why you do all the things you do in the summer and the fall, the non-conference, conference play is to get the postseason play. It's where a lot of memories are made for the rest of your lives. You talk about it, the rest of your lives in terms of what happens in this month. So, it's a great journey. I think you live in the moment, and I think you play every possession like it's your last possession.
One thing that's interesting is that you get guys who go into this understanding, what's at stake and survive in advance and all those kinds of things. But do you notice any mood change with your guys, any intensity change? Are they guys that really appreciate the moment and kind of try to strike the balance between what they have to do and also what the situation is for enjoying the moment?
Well, I think you're trying to embrace that prior to even get to this point of the season right now. I think you start playing March basketball, as you approach mid-February, you have to have that mentality that, the urgency you have to play with on every possession. You got to be able to finish halves, you got to be able to finish possessions, you got to be able to finish games.
In terms of the first meeting with them, one thing I've noticed in the film sessions that we've looked at over the past few days is that, and this is something that you don't see that often, is the cut-ups, the video work of your first game. Now, I know you do look back at that, but I know in the scouting you're looking at other games for that. There was a lot from that first game. What was the main message to the guys about what came out of that first game, a very winnable game?
Well, you only had a few opponents in this league play where you got a chance to play them twice. So, you learn a lot from every game, but more particularly in your game that you play, you can kind of see how they tried to attack you. You can kind of see some things that you went into that game trying to get done offensively, defensively, but guys get a chance to see it and see some areas where we can continue to get better or could have played better.
Yeah, I know you mentioned about the double-double that Jalen had for them the first game around. How important is it for your bigs to be able to prevent him from having that kind of game today?
Well, it's going to be a physical mindset. They came out in game one and really took it to us on the glass. Kerry had, 9 offensive rebounds by himself. The team had 15 offensive rebounds. So, it's going to be a premium on the glass in terms of physical blockouts and then ball security. We've got to be able to value taking care of the basketball. They get their hands on a lot of balls and they're able to play in transition with steals.
Okay, appreciate the time. Best of luck today.
That's great.
All right, that's Longhorns head coach Rodney Terry. We have more coming up from Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee, after these local messages on the Longhorn Radio Network from Learfield.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if,
but win. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I like a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
My son Ricky took his life by the use of a firearm. It broke me and I contemplated suicide. My grandson, I was gonna have to be here for him. I still own my firearm. I keep it in a safe because I want to keep my grandson and myself safe.
Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
Texas takes on Vanderbilt here in the SEC tournament first round. And again, it is rare that a team can win 5 games and win a conference tournament. Has happened. Happened certainly in the ACC with North Carolina State. It's happened with Virginia Tech there. It's happened in the Big East. It's happened in the Big Ten. It has not happened in the SEC before in here in Nashville. So the Longhorns will try to see if they can make some history. But it starts with first things first, taking on the Vanderbilt Commodores. And the Longhorns understand that if they are to be able to advance, one thing that Texas will have to do today, Eddie Orrin, and we talked, and you heard Ronnie Terry talking about it a little bit, they've got to find a way to not let Jalen Carey become a factor in the game. Carey comes off the bench. He averages 8.5 points and 6 rebounds. That's about what he was averaging a month ago when the Longhorns got going in that game there. But he got going in the second half, and they were unable to control it.
You got to play defense early, Craig. He locates himself early. You got to play defense early, and you got to pressure the basketball. If you don't pressure the ball, they can pick and choose how they get the ball to him. If you pressure the ball and play early with high hands, then it makes it very difficult for him to get the ball.
They have another big guy, Devin McGlockton, their junior transferred in from Boston College, and he averages 10.5 points and 8 rebounds. He was not a big factor in the game a month ago because he got into early foul trouble. But he is another body that can cause problems for you inside if you're not on your game.
Well, he's that guy that got the offensive boards. He had 5 boards. He didn't score, but he got offensive boards. When you get offensive boards, you get second opportunities.
Also, for Vanderbilt, in the backcourt, A.J. Hoggard is a guy that transferred in, a grad transfer from Michigan State. He averages 10 points, 3 rebounds, and 5 assists.
Well, he's a high-volume shooter. He didn't shoot well in Nashville, but he's a guy that looks for 3, and he can score in all 3 areas.
Of course, their leading scorer is Jason Edwards, the former North Texas guard, who averages 17 points, 2 rebounds, and assists. And we saw him really play very well down the stretch in that game here in Nashville last month.
And he's got one of the quickest release of any guy out there in college. He's really quick with the ball. He's quick on his release, and he gets other people involved. But he's just a guy that makes big shots.
Chris Magnon was not a big factor in the first meeting, but Magnon is a guy who transferred in from Cornell, and he's also a guy who can shoot the 3.
Well, he shoots the 3, gives them about 10 minutes. He rests the guys on the starters, but he's a guy that come in. He's a good role player.
Tyler Nickel is a guy who did hurt the Longhorns, and he's a 45% three-point shooter, and he averages 10 points and 2.5 rebounds.
Well, he only took 7 shots, Craig, but 3 of them were threes they made, and he made it seem like those threes he made were in crucial times. Time we were trying to come back, make a run, and then they had an answer for it.
And the one other guy who came off the bench and made an impact for them was M.J. Collins, a junior transfer guard from Virginia Tech, who averages 8 points and 2.5 rebounds.
Well, he was really good on the boards, too. He was a guy that crashed the boards. He did a good job of defending. He may be the best defender on inside.
It is the Texas Longhorns taking on the Vanderbilt Commodores here in Nashville. Coming up, we'll bring you the starting lineups and the tip-off of today's game. The winner to move on to play Texas A&M at this same time tomorrow afternoon. Texas against Vanderbilt. Tip-off just ahead on the Longhorn Radio Network as we continue with Texas Longhorn basketball in a moment.
Cheers to a great day and this ice-cold Corona.
You know what would make this day even better? My grandma's carne asada.
Or your grandma here with us, making carne asada.
She does love a cold Corona.
Throw in some dancing.
We can watch the game.
I'll drink to that.
So a backyard concert with football, food, dancing, and Corona?
And your grandma.
Or we could keep it simple.
Simple is good. Want a Corona?
Thanks. Salud to the perfect day.
Corona, la vida más fina. Get your Corona at ordercorona.com. Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
At St. David's Healthcare, we talk a lot about being the best. It's not just talk. We show it through innovation, hard work, heart, and of course, victories. St. David's Healthcare is proud to be an official healthcare provider of Texas Athletics. And as UT Athletic Director Chris Del Conte would say,
the best is here, and together we are changing the world. Hook 'em.
Want to get in on the action at UFCU Disch-Falk Field and McCombs Field? Texas Farm Bureau Insurance wants to take you out to the ball game, offering its members 2 free tickets to select Longhorns baseball and softball home games this season. Visit TexasLonghorns.com/Texas Farm Bureau for details on how members can request tickets. That's TexasLonghorns.com/Texas Farm Bureau for 2 free tickets to see the Horns on their baseball and softball home fields, courtesy of Texas Farm Bureau Insurance.
Looking for a new home is an exciting time in your life, and if you're looking in rural Texas, we can help. At Capital Farm Credit, we'll help you navigate buying rural property because rural lending is all we do. So whether the home is big or small, 1 story or 2, it doesn't matter, because the joy your new home will provide can't be measured in square feet. To learn more, visit CapitalFarmCredit.com. Capital Farm Credit. Together, we're better.
Longhorn basketball is brought to you by Rico, an official corporate sponsor of Texas Athletics. By Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. And by Texas Farm Bureau Insurance. Members can request free tickets at TexasLonghorns.com/Texas Farm Bureau. Here's the voice of the Longhorns, Craig Way.
From Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee, it's first-round action in the Southeastern Conference men's basketball tournament. The Texas Longhorns taking on the Vanderbilt Commodores in the Longhorns' first ever game in SEC tournament play. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Craig Way alongside Eddie Orn, our engineer Cameron Parker alongside Dave Pulaski, our broadcast coordinator and studio anchor in the Longhorn Radio Network studios from Learfield. The Longhorns trying to keep their season going and knowing they need to win not only to advance in this tournament, but to continue any hope they might have of being into the NCAA tournament. So it is imperative that they get a win this afternoon. Vanderbilt comes in at 20-11, 8-10 this season in SEC play, and would appear to be safely in the field. A loss to Texas today might endanger that, especially if there is anything less than a lot of chalk, meaning the expected teams winning in their respective conference tournaments across the country. So they know that if they handle their business today, they're probably going to be in good shape for landing in the NCAA tournament. Vanderbilt won the first meeting between these two teams back on February 8th, right here in Nashville at Memorial Gymnasium, and they won that by a final score of 86-78. Vanderbilt leads the all-time series 5-4. Here's who we expect to see in the starting lineups. The Longhorns, the lower seed, will be the visiting team and coached by Rodney Terry, now in his 3rd season as the head coach at UT and his 13th season overall as a collegiate head coach with a career coaching mark of 223 wins against 191 losses. The mark at UT is 60-35. In the backcourt, Jordan Pope will start at point guard, 6'2", 175-pound junior transfer from Oakley, California, transferred in from Oregon State, averaging 11 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists. Joining him in the backcourt is Tremont Mark, 6'5", 200-pound grad transfer from Dickinson down in the greater Houston area. Began his collegiate career at Houston, then was at Arkansas last year before transferring in. Mark is averaging 10 points and 4 rebounds and an assist and a half per game. The third guard is Trey Johnson, 6'6", 190-pound freshman from Garland. Played originally in high school at Lake Highlands, where they won a state championship his junior year, and then finished up at Lincoln County, Missouri. Trey named first-team All-SEC in a writers' poll, second-team All-SEC in the coaches' poll, and the SEC Freshman of the Year, according to the coaches, SEC Newcomer of the Year, according to the writers, averaging an SEC leading 20 points per game, along with 3 rebounds and 3 assists. Arthur Kaluma at a forward spot, 6'7", 225-pound senior transfer from Glendale, Arizona, transferred in from Kansas State after originally beginning his collegiate career at Creighton. Kaluma's averaging 13 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists. And in the middle is Caden Shedrick, 6'11", 231-pound grad student from Holly Springs, North Carolina, began his collegiate career at Virginia. Caden's averaging 8.5 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 block shots per game. The Vanderbilt Commodores are coached by Mark Byington. He's in his first season as the head coach at Vanderbilt. Did a great job at James Madison and other stops as well. He's in his 12th season overall as a collegiate head coach, a career coaching mark of 248 wins against 148 losses and 20-11 at Vandy. A.J. Hoggard in the backcourt, 6'4", 220-pound grad transfer from Coatesville, Pennsylvania, transferred in from Michigan State, averaging 10 points, 3 rebounds, and 5 assists. Jason Edwards, 6'1", 175-pound junior transfer from Atlanta, Georgia, transferred in from North Texas, averaging 17 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist. Chris Magnon is a 6'5", 210-pound grad transfer from New Milford, New Jersey, transferring from Cornell, averaging 6.5 points, 3.5 rebounds, and an assist. Tyler Nickel at a forward spot, 6'7", 220-pound junior transfer from Harrisonburg, Virginia, began his collegiate career at Virginia Tech. And in the middle is Devin McLaughlin, 6'7", 230-pound junior transfer from Cumming, Georgia, began his collegiate career at Boston College, averaging 10.5 points, 8 rebounds, and a block shot per game. The officials for this SEC tournament matchup: Doug Schowles is the referees, assisted by Olandis Poole and Vladimir Voyard-Tadal in this one. Keys to the game, Eddie Orrin?
I think there's no doubt about it. It's the boards. Don't allow them getting started on the boards. Kerry didn't start last time. He'll probably play a lot. You got to stop the inside play.
Well, since this is the Longhorns' introduction to SEC tournament play, we'll let the public address announcer introduce the Longhorns and the Vanderbilt Commodores to today's first-round game here in the SEC tournament at Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee.
Welcome to Bridgestone Arena for Game 2 of the 2025 SEC Men's Basketball Tournament, featuring the number 13 seed Texas Longhorns and the number 12 seed Vanderbilt Commodores. Now let's meet the starting lineup for the teams. First for Texas, at guard, a 6', 2" junior from Oakley, California, number 0, Jordan Pope. At forward, a 6', 11" graduate from Holly Springs, North Carolina, number 5, Caden Shedrick. At forward, a 6', 7" senior from Glendale, Arizona, number 6, Arthur Kaluma. At guard, a 6', 5" graduate from Dickinson, Texas, number 12, Tremont Mark. At guard, a 6', 6" freshman from Garland, Texas, All-SEC second team, All-SEC freshman team, and SEC Freshman of the Year, number 20, Trey Johnson. And the head coach of the Longhorns is Rodney Terry. And now for the Vanderbilt Commodores. At guard, a 6', 1" junior from Atlanta, Georgia, All-SEC third team, number 1, Jason Edwards. At guard, a 6', 7" junior from Harrisonburg, Virginia, number 5, Tyler Nickel. At guard, a 6', 4" graduate from Gatesville, Pennsylvania, number 11, A.J. Hoggard. At guard, a 6', 5" graduate from New Milford, New Jersey, number 30, Chris Magnon. At forward, a 6', 7" junior from Cumming, Georgia, number 99, Devin McLaughlin. And the head coach of the Commodores is Mark Byington.
The Longhorns, as the lower seed, the designated visiting team, will wear the road uniforms, the burnt orange jersey tops and burnt orange shorts, but they are going in the special edition ones today, the ones that have the burnt orange jersey tops and the burnt orange shorts, but it has Texas in the off-white cream color script lettering across the front with a white numeral beneath it. The player's name spelled out in the off-white cream-colored block print capital lettering on the back with a large off-white cream-colored numeral gracing the back of those special edition road burnt orange jersey tops, burnt orange shorts, the off-white cream-colored numerals lettering and trim. Vanderbilt home uniforms, white jersey tops, white shorts. Vanderbilt spelled out in small black block print capital lettering across the front with a black numeral beneath it outlined in gold. Player's name spelled out in black block print capital lettering on the back of those white jerseys, and a large black numeral outlined in gold of the white jersey tops, white shorts, black numerals lettering, and black and gold trim. The Longhorns will move from our left to our right here in this first half as you picture it in your mind's eye across your radio dial, and Vanderbilt from right to left. Longhorns, of course, need to win, keep the season going, and keep their postseason hopes alive. Vanderbilt trying to solidify its status as an NCAA tournament team. Hayden Shedrick will stand in the center circle to jump it for Texas. Devin McLaughlin will jump for Vanderbilt. And Olandis Poole will toss the basketball in the air. We're happy you joined us. The postseason is underway, and the Longhorns control the tip. Texas moving from left to right, and it's Jordan Pope who operates the dribble. Swings it up top to Arthur Kaluma, and out of the right side to Pope. Vanderbilt in man-to-man defense. Pope driving in, kicks a pass off to Mark, back out between the circles. Tremont driving, now kicks it in the corner. Kaluma wide open to shoot a three, missed it off the rim, however, and the rebound cleared for Vanderbilt by A.J. Hoggard. Into the front court for the Commodores. Hoggard on to the left side, rolls the dribble to the right wing. Looking into the paint, drops it to Magnon, who goes to the left side, flips it back up top as he works it to Tyler Nickel, guarded by Arthur Kaluma. The Longhorns in man-to-man defense. 10 on the shot clock for the Commodores. They're going to get a foul inside, I believe, on Trey Johnson. No, actually, they're going to get it on Caden Shedrick, who picks up the first foul of the ball game. A non-shooting foul. Vanderbilt will inbound on the baseline.
Well, both teams are spreading the floor, and both teams are running their offense free throw line extended and higher.
So Commodores will inbound the basketball. Lobbed out to Magnon to the right side. Drops it back behind him as he works it to Jason Edwards. Edwards guarded by Jordan Pope on the right side. 10 to shoot for Vanderbilt. Back to Edwards' left side. Double team, got rid of it out front. Magnon, a three-pointer, missed it badly. Rebounded loose in the corner, went out of bounds off the Commodores. It'll be Texas ball.
You cannot allow open looks. It's very deceiving when they miss shots like that. You got to be there on the catch. These guys can shoot the ball, and the shooters are going to continue to shoot.
So 1 minute into the ball game and scoreless. Texas with the basketball, and Pope operates the dribble out front. Guarded by Edwards, swings a pass into the paint. Shedrick in the corner. Trey Johnson thought about a three. Now drives through traffic to score off the glass.
Great job of turning down the three and getting to the rim. He had an avenue. He saw it, and he took it and made the bucket.
Longhorns score first. They lead 2-0. On the dribble is A.J. Hoggard. Left side, flips it up top to Devin McLaughlin. McLaughlin swings it to the right wing to Tyler Nickel. Nickel off to Magnon. Thought about a three, steps inside the arc of the dribble. Now off to Nickel, who drives into the paint, dumps it to Magnon. He got around Kaluma but missed the shot. Arthur forced him to alter it, and Kaluma clears the rebound for Texas. Into the front court, leaves it now for Jordan Pope. Pope on to the right side, and now in between the circles. Jordan between the legs on the dribble to the left side. Works a pass to Tremont Mark. Mark thinking about it, now shooting a three. Missed it off the back iron, too firm, and the rebound for Vanderbilt cleared by Hoggard.
I'm not sure they won that shot that quick.
2-0 Texas, 2 minutes into the action. There's Magnon driving to the baseline left side against Kaluma. Now works it back out front to Edwards. Spins in the paint, and Pope fouled him going up, and they're going to count the basket. He got Jordan Pope off his feet. Jason Edwards does that so well and hits the turnaround jumper, and he'll have a free throw to come.
Boy, he's an excellent player. He's fun to watch. He's quick. He gets the open spots, and he's a leader on his team.
Pope will leave the floor now, and Julian Larry will replace him on the floor for Texas. Julian, 6'3", 185-pound grad transfer. from Frisco, north of Dallas originally, transferred in from Indiana State, averaging 5 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. Jason Edwards is an 84% foul shooter. He shot 83% in conference games this year, and he completes the three-point play to put Vanderbilt in front for the first time, 3-2. Larry with it, flips it to Arthur Kaluman out of the right side to Tremont Mark. Out front to Julian Larry, trying to drive inside, picks up the dribble, locates Caden Shedrick. One dribble from Caden. Now back it goes to Trey Johnson. Johnson driving against Magnon. Left side, step back three, off the rim, no good. And the rebound for Vanderbilt cleared by A.J. Hoggard. Into the front court, Hoggard angles from right to left, drives to the left side of the lane, pulls it back out to Magnon, drives in, got around traffic, missed the runner, but he was fouled, I believe, by Trey Johnson, and he'll be on the line to shoot two. Trey picking up his first personal.
These Vanderbilt guards are really mentally quick. They catch the ball and they're on the move. If they got a move to make, they're really quick mentally thinkers, and they really catch and go.
Chris Magnon. Magnon 80% from the foul line this year, 78% conference play. This Vanderbilt team shoots 75% as a team from the line. First one rattles in. Longhorns also shot 75% this season, 77% in conference play. Vanderbilt shooting 75% both overall and in SEC games. Second free throw for Chris Magnon, and it's good. The Commodores with 5 unanswered hold a 5-2 lead. 17:20 to go first half. Julian Larry works in the front court. Now it's up top, Arthur Kaluma. To Larry, onto the right side, spinning away from his opposite number 1, Jason Edwards. Now works up top to Shedrick. Off to Kaluma. Arthur against Tyler Nickel on the right wing. Still operating the dribble, trying to drive inside on him. 10 on the shot clock. Had his pocket picked by Edwards. He took it away, and Jason Edwards comes out of nowhere to come up with the steal. Now driving into the corner, Tyler Nickel. Three-pointer off the rim, no good. Rebound, Caden Shedrick for the Longhorns. Into the front court is Julian Larry. To the right side, wheeling around traffic, spins, turns, got around traffic, missed the shot but drew contact. He'll go to the line. Hoggard on the foul for Vanderbilt.
Good footwork that time once he got to the bucket.
Checking in for Texas will be Zarek Onyema, 6'8", 235-pound senior out of John Jay High in San Antonio. Began his collegiate career at UTEP, recruited there by Rodney Terry. Zarek averaging 3 points, 3 rebounds per game. He'll come in after the first of 2 free throws for Julian Larry. 83% from the foul line this year, misses the first. He had fallen off a little bit in SEC play and misses there. He was 77% in conference play. Caden Shedrick checks out. Zarek Onyema back on. So another free throw for Larry. He'll have a second try here. And this one for Julian is good. 1 out of 2 for Julian Larry. It's a 5-3 lead for Vanderbilt. 16:40 to go first half. Into the front court is A.J. Hoggard operating the dribble against Tremont Mark. Down into the corner, Edwards a 3, missed it off the sidearm. Rebound. Kaluma had it and collided with a teammate and went out of his hands. And Magnon met it, and then Tremont Mark knocked the ball out of bounds, went diving for it. It'll stay with Vanderbilt. So Commodores will inbound right near midcourt. 16:25 remaining in the first half, and Chris Magnon will inbound for Vandy.
Well, Texas did a good job of really his face guard and carry, keeping him off the glass. He averaged about 19 minutes a game. He may play more than that.
Vanderbilt to inbound the ball. Magnon works it into A.J. Hoggard. Slow dribble to the right side. Tremont Mark giving him a little space. Now it's to Magnon. To the right wing, Edwards, guarded by Larry. Bounce pass, right block. Trying to bounce his way in along the baseline. Still working, spinning is Carey, and Jalen Carey just checked in, missed the floater with the left hand, and Longhorns with the rebound. 4 minutes into the ball game. Larry has it, top of the arc. Picks up the dribble now, looking toward Johnson. Instead it goes to Tremont Mark, guarded by Jason Edwards. Here's Tremont, works into the paint, stops, flips a pass in the corner, setting his feet. Kaluma lets go with a 3, but it's off the side iron, in the rebound of Vanderbilt. Into the front court, Magnon driving in against Zarek Onyema, who fouled him. The shot didn't go in, but Zarek will get called for the foul. That's his first. There'll be 2 free throws to come after the first official timeout. 15:41 remaining here in the first half. Right now, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. Live from Nashville, you're listening to Texas Longhorns basketball from Learfield. 15:41 remaining in the first half. It's Vanderbilt 5, Texas 3 from the SEC tournament on the Longhorn Radio Network from Learfield.
This message is for Shauna, my mom who just finished her high school diploma. I wanted to say I'm so proud of you for finishing school. You told me it's never too late to achieve your dreams. I hope to make you as proud as you have made me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never, ever become a minivan mom. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, know it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
August was born 3 pounds, 9.8 ounces. When I first saw him, it was a whole range of emotions. There's stuff I still want to do. Being a young dad, it's not giving up. It's shifting. I looked through his eyes. I can envision the whole future with him already. To throw the first football to him, give him ice cream for the first time. My life is now devoted to his life.
Through all of fatherhood's firsts, never stop being a dad. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
With championship golf, world-class tennis, great family experiences, and the speed, the lower 46-hole par 3 short course, the UT Golf Club is all about Texas tradition. Visit the club or log on to utgolfclub.com for more information, where champions play. Conference tournament play is always an exciting time. You get to see friends who are broadcasting games on other radio networks, and that includes here in Nashville, where the SEC radio network broadcast all the games of the tournament, and they have a unique system where they rotate the play-by-play voices of their conference member schools, pairing them with analysts from other schools. So our good friend Andrew Monaco, the voice of the Texas A&M Aggies, is working with Richard Williams, guy you know very well, the former Mississippi State coach who's the analyst for Mississippi State. They're working the broadcast of this game. I went up to Andrew and I said, "Are you going to get excited when Texas scores?" He goes, "I will if you get excited when you call Oklahoma, Georgia tonight." And I said, "Good point." Because I'll work tonight with Matt Zimmerman of the Arkansas Razorback Radio Network. We'll call Oklahoma and Georgia the nightcap here. Here's Chris Magnon on the line, shooting 2, and the first one's good for Magnon. 80% from the foul line, as we mentioned, and started off at Cornell, so only 3 for 3 from the free throw line. Make it 4 for 4 as the second one goes, and Vanderbilt is up 4. 7-3, 15:41 remaining in the first half. Tremont Mark on the dribble into the front court. Over to the left side, flips a pass to Arthur Kaluma. High on the right wing. Kaluma trying to drive on McLaughlin, bodies up against him, but left the one-hander short. Scramble underneath. Kaluma got it back and scores off the glass.
Well, good strength, good job of getting it back on the glass, protecting it before he got it up.
I mentioned that Jalen Carey's checked in for Vanderbilt. 6'8", 245-pound sophomore transfer from Davie, Florida. Began his collegiate career at James Madison, averaging 8.6 rebounds. He's the one who had the career game back on February 8th against the Longhorns, a double-double. Magnon looking toward Carey, but drops it back out front. He works to the Tyler Tanner, who just checked in and passed loose on the baseline, picked up by Carey, but he stepped out of bounds. So to go back to Texas, good defense there by Zarek Onyema for the Longhorns. Longhorns get Kendall Weaver on the floor for the first time, 6'3", 180-pound junior guard from Mansfield Timberview, transferred in from UTA. Of course, he missed 15 games, came back last Saturday on the regular season finale against Oklahoma. He's averaging 7 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. And as I mentioned, Tyler Tanner on for Vanderbilt. 6 foot, 165-pound freshman from Brentwood, Tennessee, just south of Nashville here. Out of Brentwood Academy, averaging 6 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Longhorns with the ball. Tremont Mark, a great drive around the hoop to score off the glass, a left-hand runner.
Good job of keeping his dribble and attacking the rim and finishing the bucket.
Game tied at 7, 14:35 to go first half. On to the right side is Jason Edwards, guarded by Kendall Weaver. Works it out now to MJ Collins, who had just checked in. Collins Flicks it back out front to Tyler Tanner. 10 on the shot clock for the Commodores. Tanner fires up a three. It was an air ball, and it was saved inbounds by Carey, but soaring through the air. Kendall Weaver, quick outlet pass. Kaluma, a slam dunk. Great rebound by Weaver. Texas has definitely missed that, and then he found the streaking Kaluma for the slam dunk.
Yeah, we need that energy.
Texas back in front, 9-7, 6 minutes into the ball game. Tyler Tanner on the right wing. Tanner into the right corner, works the basketball to MJ Collins, switches it around to Edwards. He drives in. He just ran right into two Longhorns. Unfortunately, one of them's going to get called for a foul. If it's on Onyema, it'll be 2. I did not see if it was on Onyema. Oh, it is on Zarek, and that's his second. And that's going to get Caden Shedrick back on the floor. He was there along with Kendall Weaver, but they called it on Onyema. And so here's Edwards on the line. We had a free throw to finish a three-point play a few minutes ago. He'll shoot 2 here. So 2 free throws to come for Jason Edwards. First one for Edwards rattles out, a rare miss for him. By the way, I mentioned MJ Collins on for Vanderbilt for the first time. A 6'4", 195-pound junior transfer guard from Clover, South Carolina. Transferred him from Virginia Tech. He averages 8 points and 2.5 rebounds per game.
He's a scorer. He thinks score on when he catches the ball.
Here's the second one, and it's no good in the rebound. Weaver, how about that? Jason Edwards, 84% for the foul line, missed 2. And Weaver with the rebound for Texas. Longhorns with the ball up 2 at 9-7. Tremont Mark wheeling around traffic to the left side with it, retreating with a dribble. Now picks up the dribble and is looking inside. Coach has come for the Longhorns to clear a path, and Tremont drives to the baseline, goes reverse side to score. That's exactly what the coach has called for, and Tremont took it to the rack.
Great job of protecting the ball and getting it up on the glass. Made a difficult shot.
It's an 11-7 Texas lead here, 13-18 to go first half. Jalen Carey trying to get around Caden Shedrick. Caden's got to be careful with one foul, and the shot missed off the rim, and the rebound. Weaver, 3 quick rebounds for Kendall. Sends a pass into Shedrick. In the paint. Turns with a jump hook, and he scores.
Boy, Kendall Weaver has added to this game.
First field goal for Caden Shedrick. The Longhorns have turned this around with 9 unanswered, and they lead it. 10 unanswered. They lead it 13-7 with 12:50 remaining in the first half. So Vanderbilt sends it across the floor to MJ Collins, driving against Trey Johnson, who blocked his shot. Trey got it back. And the Longhorns with it. In transition now. Johnson off to Caden Shedrick. Into the front court. Now back to Trey Johnson. Snap pass as he works it back out front. And they'll get a foul called as it went to Tremont Mark. That foul was going to be on Tyler Tanner. That's his first. Second foul against Vanderbilt. This is a 10-0 run for the Longhorns over the last 2 minutes and 53 seconds. They've hit their last 5 shots. Vanderbilt, by the way, has missed its last 6, and they have not scored a point over 3 minutes. Now, Tremont Mark, also Arthur Kaluma, and also Kendall Weaver all check out. On for the first time for Texas, Jason Kent, 6'8", 215-pound grad transfer forward from Oak Forest, Illinois, transferred in from Indiana State, averaging 6 points, 3 rebounds. And Devon Pryor on for the first time, 6'7", 185-pound sophomore forward out of the PSAT Academy, and Houston averaging 4 points, 2 rebounds per game. And Longhorns give up the basketball.
So you got to get a better angle on that pass. One more dribble, and he had a great angle. Collins, we talk about being a scorer, but he's going to guard Trey Johnson. He's probably their best perimeter defender they have.
13-7 Texas as we tick down to the 12-minute mark of the first half. Hoggard on the right wing for the Commodores. Has it back out front on the right side. Left-hand dribble for A.J. Hoggard. 9 on the shot clock. Hoggard driving toward the hoop against Jason Kent. Flips the pass back out front. Nickel open for 3. Missed it off the rim. Rebound Jason Kent for Texas. Off to Trey Johnson. Into the first front court. And it goes into Shedrick. A flying slam dunk. Caden Shedrick, the throwdown. Texas now 12 unanswered, and they lead it by a score of 15-7.
Good pick and roll in the full court action with Trey Johnson.
A.J. Hoggard flips a pass underneath. Jalen Carey off the glass for his first bucket of the ballgame. That stops a 12-0 Texas run that took place over a span of nearly 4 minutes. Into the front court is Julian Larry. On to the right side. Cross-court pass, Jason Kent. Bounce pass, left side of the lane. Shedrick had it knocked out of his hands. by MJ Collins, a steal. Here's Collins in the corner, a three-pointer off the rim, and Shedrick clears the rebound for the Longhorns. Into the front court, Trey Johnson on to the right side. At the top of the arc, Trey fires an NBA range three, missed it too strong off the back of the rim, and the rebound cleared for Vanderbilt by Tyler Nickel. Into the front court, Hoggard, no look pass to the baseline to Collins, back out front, now a three-pointer, that's no good, put up by Hoggard in the rebound, Jason Kemp for the Longhorns.
Much like Vandy game, they were missing those shots the first half, making them the second.
Larry has it out between the circles to the right side. Julian driving toward the baseline against Tyler Tanner. Bounce pass on the right side. Works it to Trey Johnson. Working against Collins. Fade away from the baseline. Rattled in and out. Offensive rebound. Jason Kent put it back up. He drew contact. Shot didn't go. But he'll have a pair of free throws after the timeout. That foul is on A.J. Hoggard, and that is his second. 10:23 remaining in the first half here in the first round of the SEC tournament. In Nashville, the score is Texas 15, Vanderbilt 9 on the Longhorn Radio Network from Learfield.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed. Oh, yeah? Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy. Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
Longhorn basketball is brought to you in part by St. David's Healthcare, an official healthcare provider of Texas athletics. The best is here. Texas holding a 15-9 lead on Vanderbilt. They've been on a 12-2 run over the last 5 minutes here, and they've hit 6 of their last 8 shots. The Commodores have only been able to hit 1 of their last 10. For the ball game overall, Texas is shooting level 50%, 7 of 14, 0 for 5 beyond the arc, 1 of 2 from the foul line. Vanderbilt 2 for 13 from the floor and 0 for 7 from three-point range. They are 5 of 7 from the foul line. Texas a 13-6 edge on the boards. Turnovers, 3 for the Horns, 1 for Vanderbilt, but that led to the only points off the turnover, a Texas bucket. Points in the paint. How big was it for Vanderbilt in the first meeting? Well, so far today, it's 14-4 Texas in that category, Eddie.
No doubt about it. They've turned down the threes. Well, they missed 5 threes, but they're going to the basket. They're isolating, keeping the ball on one side, going pick and roll, and doing a good job attacking the rim.
Well, that was the second foul on A.J. Hoggard. We'll see if Mark Byington wants to make a substitution. Of course, for the Longhorns, the only man with 2 fouls right now is Eric Onyema, and he had to go to the bench after he'd originally come on for Caden Shedrick after Shedrick picked up his first. Caden's out there, has been out there playing. We'll see. Roddy may choose to go with the smaller lineup right now, and out of the timeout, it's Devon Pryor, Jason Kent, Arthur Kaluma, Tremont Mark back on the floor, and Jordan Pope back on the floor for the Longhorns. Trey Johnson gets his first breather of the afternoon. And it's going to be Jason Kent going to the free throw line. And, of course, Jason's had some struggles of late from the line. Overall, 56%, 49% in SEC play. So he'll shoot 2. So 2 free throws coming for Kent. First one for Jason is no good. It rattled out. He'll have one more. Kent steps off the line, now back into position. Here's a second free throw for Kent. That one also no good. Missed them both, and McLaughlin has the rebound for Vanderbilt. Commodores with the ball. Texas up 6-15-9. 10:15 to go first half. A.J. Hoggard on the left wing. Sends it up top to McLaughlin, who is guarded by Jason Kent. Now to Tyler Nickel. Devon Pryor the matchup there. Off to McLaughlin. Right side, Tyler Tanner. Guarded by Pope. Ball got knocked loose. Still loose on the floor. And Pope comes away with it for Texas. Into the front court. Pope angles to the top of the arc. He'll fire up a three. No good off the back iron, and the deep rebound to Tyler Tanner. Neither side able to get the three-point game underway.
No, both teams are cold. Both teams are getting good shots, too.
To the right side with it. Into the corner. Now out front, A.J. Hoggard. Hoggard trying to drive in on Arthur Kaluma. Stops in the lane. The fadeaway off the back iron, and Kaluma snares the rebound for the Longhorns. Into the front court on the dribble is Tremont Mark. To the right side, between the legs on the dribble, top of the arc. Tremont drives in, spins, turns, dumps a pass back behind him to Jordan Pope. Now to Kaluma, rolls the dribble to the left side, right in front of the Commodore bench. 10 on the shot clock as he gives it up to Tremont Mark. Mark on the left wing, trying to drive in on Hoggard, who's out there playing with two personals. Shoots over him, left the jumper short. Rebound tip loose. Kent pulls it down for Texas, goes up in traffic, and clears the bucket off the glass.
Good strength. He did a great job of keeping the ball up high. Not bringing it down, keeping it up high, good angle and bucket.
First bucket of the ball game for Jason Kent. Longhorns match their largest lead. They're up 8 at 17-9, under 9 minutes remaining first half. Tyler Tanner out between the circles, rolls the dribble on the left side, bounces into the lane, now out to Magnon. Thought about a three, passed on it, works it back out front to McLaughlin. Devin McLaughlin gives it up. Magnon driving in the paint against Kaluma, let him go, and he drops it in. So Magnon, 6 points here in the first half, 4 of those from the foul line. And it's a 17-11 Texas lead.
We turned down the three. They're not making threes to take it to the rim.
Tremont Mark has it at the top of the arc against Devin McLaughlin, trying to drive on him, still working him, drives around him, and drew contact against McLaughlin. And he'll go to the line. McLaughlin will pick up his first, and it'll be Tremont Mark on the line for 2 free throws. Tremont this season, 77% from the free throw line and 83% conference play. I think he got a hand banged up.
Yeah, he seemed like he jammed it, didn't he?
Yep, trying to shake it off right now before he goes to the line to shoot 2. So here's Tremont with 2 free throws. The first one for Mark is good. We'll have one more. And Devon Pryor checks out for the Longhorns. Trey Johnson had a brief rest. He's back on. Arthur Kaluma comes off the floor. And Caden Shedrick returns for Texas. So the Longhorn lineup is Jordan Pope, Tremont Mark, Trey Johnson, Jason Kent, and Caden Shedrick. Second free throw for Mark is no good. It hung on the rim and it fell off. Rebound Vanderbilt. Texas up 18-11. Quickly driving down the floor. They're going to call goaltending. Might have gone in for Jason Edwards. Sprint dribbling down, but the mystery of that was taken away as it was tipped in the cylinder by Caden Shedrick. So Edwards credited for the bucket, and it's an 18-13 ball game now. Here's Mark on the right side, flips it up top to Shedrick, swinging off a screen. Pope steps inside the arc, gets the bucket in one. Made a quick turn just like Edwards did and got it inside and knocked it down. He'll have a free throw to come. The foul was on Jalen Carey, his first.
Just a good job coming off the screen, taking a shot. It's a big foul for Carey.
Jordan this season, 86% from the free throw line, 89% in SEC games. Going for the old-fashioned three-point play. The free throw is good. Pope's first 3 points put the Longhorns back up 8. Again, matching their largest lead. Up 21-13, under 8 remaining in the half. To the right side, Tyler Tanner on the dribble against Jordan Pope. Up top to Edwards. Thought about a three, dumps it back to Tanner. Trapped along the baseline. Sends it out to Magnon. Magnon tried to get around Jason Kent, who I think impeded his progress, but the foul is going to be called on Pope, and that's 2 on Jordan just then. So a foul there, and that'll be the 16th foul against Texas. There's a timeout. 7:48 remaining in the first half. Here in Nashville, it's Texas 21, Vanderbilt 13, and Longhorn basketball continues in a moment.
At St. David's Healthcare, we talk a lot about being the best. It's not just talk. We show it through innovation, hard work, heart, and of course, victories. St. David's Healthcare is proud to be an official healthcare provider of Texas athletics. And as UT Athletic Director Chris Del Conte would say,
the best is here, and together we are changing the world. Hook 'em.
With so many distractions in life, are you finding it hard to focus on the present? Constantly looking down instead of looking up? Feverishly trying to capture the moment instead of taking it in? Feel Free by Botanic Tonics can help. The calm, relaxing effects of kava root, coupled with other plant-based ingredients, make for the perfect balanced boost to help keep you in the now. Discover the magic of plants with Feel Free. Texas fans can save $40 on their first order with code BEVO40. That's code BEVO40 at feelfree.com.
Jan from Toyota here. Feeling cooped up from winter? Well, now until March 31st is the perfect time for a new Toyota, like Camry, Grand Highlander, and more. So you can get back out there and do the things you love, like hitching up the boat to a tundra for a lake day.
I haven't water skied in a long time.
Live out your spring fantasies with a new Toyota. Come in today.
Go from dreaming it to driving it. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Toyota, let's go places.
7:48 remaining in the first half. Texas is up 21-13 on Vanderbilt here in the first round of the SEC tournament. Want to get an update from Dave Pulaski in our Longhorn Radio Network studios on scores going on. Of course, there was an earlier game today. There's other Division I, and that includes Power 5 conference tournament games going on right now and tonight. So let's check in with Dave Pulaski for a WinStar World Resort Studio update. Dave?
Yeah, that's right, Craig. Earlier today was Arkansas getting past South Carolina 72-68 in a game which the Razorbacks led by 20 early in the second half, 54-34. South Carolina actually rallied back to make it a one-point game at 61-60, but the Hogs hold on, come away with the victory. Trayvon Brazil with 16 points and 7 rebounds, so the Razorbacks will be moving on to take on Ole Miss in the second round tomorrow. In the first game of the day, of course, the winner of this matchup will take on the winner of Texas A&M. And one other notable game going on in Power Conference action, of course, a game that can affect Texas's bid for the NCAA tournament. North Carolina, they're also on the bubble. They're in control against Notre Dame in the second round of the ACC tournament, up 69-47. Jalen Withers with 18 points. He has knocked down 5 3-pointers in the first half for the Heels. And right now, Heels comfortably in control against the Irish. Under 4 minutes to go, Craig.
All right, thanks very much, Dave. Yeah, this is the time of year where, Eddie, we start paying a little more attention there, a little more scoreboard watching of the other bubble teams going on. And it's been an up and down year for Hubert Davis's ball club, but they're helping out their cause today.
And that's the one thing committee looks at, how you finish. But, you just don't want those upsets when you're on that bubble.
Yeah, so out of the timeout, that foul was on Jordan Pope, 16 foul. Pope is out. Kendall Weaver back on for Texas. The Longhorn lineup is Kendall Weaver, Trey Johnson, Tremont Mark, Jason Kent, and Caden Shedrick. Vanderbilt will inbound on the baseline. And Texas up 8 at 21-13. Commodores look to inbound. It's into the corner. Tyler Nickel driving in through traffic off the glass to score.
Hey, too easy that time. He come off the pick, and one in communication, they allowed him to get the bucket.
First basket for Nickel. It's a 21-15 Longhorn lead. Into the front court, Tremont Mark on the dribble. At the top of the arc, looking into the paint, out to Jason Kent. Kent with a bounce pass, Caden Shedrick. Trying to back down Jalen Carey. Spins, leans, turns with a jump hook, and he can't get it to go. Tip-up try off the mark of an out of bounds off Texas. Well, Caden had a good look at it, but high percentage, but it rattled out, and it'll go back over to Vanderbilt.
Well, Vandy won the 3 seconds. You're not going to get 3 seconds on that when the guy's making the move.
So Vanderbilt will have it into the front court. To the left side, Edwards got around Kendall Weaver, puts it up. It went off the rim, and the rebound, Jason Kent. Now Tremont Mark for Texas. Into the front court. Bounce pass to Trey Johnson. Johnson had the early bucket. Into the corner. Goes to Jason Kent. Kent looking toward Trey. Now a bounce pass to the baseline to Mark. Tremont with Magnon all over him. And then foul by Carey, and that's 2. So Jalen Carey just picked up his second foul. And on Vanderbilt, that will be the 16th foul. Each team with 6 fouls. That's going to get Jalen Carey to the bench. Devin McLaughlin, who has 1 personal, back on the floor for Vandy.
Yeah, that's a big foul, especially on open floor.
So the Longhorns will inbound the ball. And Tremont Mark inbounds to Trey Johnson. Back to Mark. Top of the arc on the dribble. And to the right side of King Shedrick. Now to the cutting Johnson. Down the lane. Had his shot rejected. Went out of bounds. 11 to shoot for Texas. They'll inbound again on the baseline.
We'll look for Texas to try to get some type of action in the corner. Pick the picker, but if they don't communicate, Texas slips someone right to the rim.
Tremont Mark to inbound for Texas. Looking. Sends it in the left corner to Johnson. Trey driving in the paint, and he's fouled going up. And that's going to be on Magnon. And Magnon picks up his first. That's a shooting foul. It's been well documented the struggles that Trey had against Oklahoma last Saturday. Worst game, as he said, of his life at any level. Went 0 for 14. He got his first shot to go down. He's missed 4 since. He's 1 out of 5 from the floor. Now going to the free throw line, where Trey is 88% from the free throw line, 89% this year in conference play. First one good. That's where he scored all his points the other night. He scored 7 points, had 7 rebounds, 6 assists, but just couldn't get shots to fall.
The thing I like about him, when he gets bumped, they push him, bump him, shove him. He never reacts. He just plays.
Caden Shedrick checks out. Arthur Kaluma back on for Texas. Second free throw is good for Johnson, who has 4 points. Texas back up 8. 3 times they've led by 8 points here in the first half. It's 23-15 with 6.5 minutes remaining in the half. A.J. Hoggard on the dribble between the circles for Vanderbilt. To the left side with it, guarded by Kaluma. Hoggard calling for a clear out, rolls the dribble back to the right side, trying to take Kent off the dribble. A step back jumper short off the front iron. Rebound, run down in the corner by Kendall Weaver. 4 rebounds for Weaver here in this first half. 4 points and 4 rebounds for him. There's a pass and the Longhorns can't control it. Went out of bounds. It'll turn over and it'll go back over as Vanderbilt will take it. That's the 4th Texas turnover. So the Longhorns have 4 turnovers. So, as we mentioned, Kendall Weaver has the 4 rebounds and a couple of assists early. The top of the arc, driving through traffic. Nice run to the hoop, and the shot rolls in for A.J. Hoggard, his first bucket.
That's too easy. No pressure on the ball, and they allowed him to drive to the bucket. No one come to step over.
Texas 23, Vanderbilt 17. 5:43 to go first half. Here's Tremont Martin, left side, out to Arthur Kaluma, top of the arc. Kaluma driving, spins against Tyler Nickel, goes around him with a scoop, and he scores off the glass. Nice bucket by Kaluma.
Excellent footwork that time to get up on the glass.
Art with 6 first half points. Texas back up 8, 25-17. On the right side is Jason Edwards, trying to take Trey Johnson off the dribble. Spins to the baseline, puts it up, off the rim, no good. Rebound, Jason Kent. Kent with 6 rebounds here in the first half for the Longhorns. Texas up 8 and looking to go up double digits for the first time this afternoon. Here's Tremont Mark on the left side, guarded by Hoggard. On the left wing, high screen set by Kaluma. Mark backs out the dribble, trying to take Tyler Nickel off of it, who fouls him going up. The shot's no good, but that's going to get Kaluma to the line to shoot 2. The foul on Tyler Nickel is his first.
Well, good job getting it to the rim, protecting the glass, and getting it up with a good angle.
So, on the free throw line, Tremont Mark, 1 out of 2 a few minutes ago. He'll have 2 here. Here's the first one for Tremont. It's good. A chance to put Texas up by 10 as we approach the 5-minute mark of the first half. 5:02 to be exact right now, remaining in the first half.
Well, this is a team on the floor that can press after a make if they want to.
Second free throw is good. Mark with 7 points. Longhorns have their first 10-point lead of the day. They won't press right now. And as we go under 5 minutes remaining in the half, Texas leads 27-17. Out front, A.J. Hoggard on the dribble, flips it out to McLaughlin and will shoot a 3. Missed it off the rim. 3 Longhorns collide for it, but Kaluma, Weaver, and Jason Kent all come out of it unscathed, and the Longhorns cleared the rebound.
Well, Texas doing a good job on the board. They're not allowing second chance opportunities like they did in Nashville.
Here is Mark on the left side. 4.5 to go in the half. And Tremont had his pocket pick stripped. Here comes Magnon, leaves it for McLaughlin, drives in, and they're going to call goaltending as Kendall Weaver went soaring through the air to try to block the shot. Kendall called for goaltending. McLaughlin credited for his first basket. And for Vanderbilt, Tyler Tanner checks back in. He'll replace A.J. Hoggard. Tremont Mark checks out. Jordan Pope with 2 fouls back on the floor for the Longhorns. Offensive situational substitution for Rodney Terry right now. It'll be inbounded to Pope. So it is Jordan Pope, Kendall Weaver, Trey Johnson, Arthur Kaluma, and Jason Kent on the floor. Texas, slightly smaller lineup right now. Pope with a bounce pass to Kaluma. Left side, thinking about shooting one, got McLaughlin off his feet, fires up an 18-footer, can't get it to go, and the rebound, Devin McLaughlin for Vanderbilt. Into the front court. To the right side with it, Tyler Tanner. Tanner off to Edwards. And Jason Edwards lost the dribble, had it knocked out of his hands. Here's Weaver. Racing down the floor, goes inside of traffic, had it blocked off the glass, and then Kaluma fouled as he was going back up. The first shot was definitely not in the cylinder. It was below on the way up. But it's a Vanderbilt foul. There'll be free throws to come for the Longhorns after the timeout. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification live from downtown Nashville, Tennessee. You're listening to Texas Longhorns basketball from Learfield. The Vanderbilt foul was on Chris Magnon, who now has 2 fouls. Free throws to come for Texas after the timeout. 3:51 remaining in the first half here at Bridgestone Arena. At the SEC tournament, it's Texas 27, Vanderbilt 19. Longhorn basketball continues in a moment.
Cheers to a great day and this ice-cold Corona.
You know what would make this day even better? My grandma's carne asada.
Or your grandma here with us, making carne asada.
She does love a cold Corona.
Throw in some dancing.
Oh, we can watch the game.
I'll drink to that.
So a backyard concert with football, food, dancing, and Corona?
And your grandma.
Or we could keep it simple.
Simple is good. Want a Corona?
Thanks. Salud to the perfect day.
Corona, la vida más fina. Get your Corona at ordercorona.com. Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Import, Chicago, Illinois.
Hey Longhorn fans, basketball season is here and SeatGeek is here to help you experience all the action. SeatGeek makes it easy to find tickets so you can be a part of all the courtside celebrations this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to Texas basketball games or to any other live event in your area, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of the Texas Longhorns. The most disruptive idea in ticketing? A ticket that works. Expect the expected. SeatGeek.
Want to get in on the action at UFCU Dish Falk Field and McCombs Field? Texas Farm Bureau Insurance wants to take you out to the ball game, offering its members 2 free tickets to select Longhorns baseball and softball home games this season. Visit TexasLonghorns.com/Texas Farm Bureau for details on how members can request tickets. That's TexasLonghorns.com/Texas Farm Bureau for 2 free tickets to see the Horns on their baseball and softball home fields, courtesy of Texas Farm Bureau Insurance.
Of course, Texas softball and baseball, a combined 2 losses between the 2 of them this season. They're both playing really, really well. Longhorn baseball opens its first SEC series in Starkville, Mississippi, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at Duty Noble, the left field lounge and all that entails, taking on Mississippi State throughout the weekend. And Texas softball, they have a top 3 matchup, number 1 and number 3 in the country. The Longhorns will play at Florida to open SEC play for the first time ever for those 2 programs. Hey, the unexpected happens every day. When it does, head to Kohl's and Kohl's.com for everything your family needs. Kohl's, where families come first. Longhorns up 8, 27-19, 3:51 remaining in the first half. And in this first half, the Longhorns are shooting 42%, 10 for 24, but Vanderbilt just 30%, 7 of 23. Commodores 0 for 8 beyond the arc. Longhorns 0 for 6. Texas is 7 of 11 from the foul line, and they have a chance to add to it with Kaluma going to the line here momentarily. Vanderbilt 5 of 7 from the line. Longhorns have doubled up the rebounding in the first half, 22-11 there, and the turnovers 5 for Texas, 3 for Vanderbilt. And it is a 4-2 edge in the points off the turnovers for Vandy. Also, the Commodores have closed the gap on points in the paint. It's 18-14 Texas there.
Well, Texas has helped herself with the offensive boards 6-1, but next foul on Vandy, we're shooting double bonus. I know it's only 3:51, but that's important.
Here's Kaluma on the line. Arthur, 79% from the foul line this year. He shot 80% in conference games. Shooting 2, and the first one for AKA is no good. It rattled out. They'll have one more. Big night for Arthur last Saturday night with family in. Of course, Arthur's parents from Uganda, and great story there, and the different places he lived, in Boston and Dallas. And high school in Arizona. Here's the second free throw for Kaluma. Deep breath. Kaluma trying to get 1 out of 2 here now. And the second one is good. 7 first-half points for Kaluma. Longhorn lead is 9, 28-19. 28-19 remaining in the half. 3:45 to go in this first half.
We'll need to close this half well and don't allow Vandy any momentum.
Here's McLaughlin trying to work his way in the paint with a jump hook. He threw up an air ball, and it was last touched by Texas. Out of bounds. 15 on the shot clock for the Commodores. Well defended in the paint by Kaluma, but McLaughlin got a good head start with position in the lane.
He just didn't allow him to get that one good angle.
It'll be inbounded by Tyler Tanner. Tanner looking. Still looking. Flips it into the corner now as he works it to Jaqueline Roberts, who just checked in. 6'8", 220-pound sophomore from Bloomington, Indiana, who averages a point per game. He's reserved, doesn't usually play that much, but because of the foul trouble, he's out there. To MJ Collins, who's back on the floor. Down the 2, down to 1. It's going to be a shot clock violation. Went out of bounds anyway off Vanderbilt. Trey Johnson helping force that turnover. So the Longhorns get it back. Nice defense by the Horns there.
Really good defense, and Trey did not need to get that foul and did a great job of defending without fouling.
So Texas with the ball. Tremont Mark into the front court, guarded by Tyler Tanner. Works it to Kendall Weaver. Weaver guarded tightly by Jason Edwards. Now to Kaluma. Out on the left side, he's picked up there by Jaqueline Roberts. Coming off a screen, Johnson top of the arc. Now driving against Collins, drops it back to Kendall Weaver. Weaver into the paint, out to Johnson. 7 to shoot. Trey, a contested 3. Good! First three-pointer of the ball game for either side. It's a big one for Trey Johnson. The Longhorns lead by 12, 31-19.
He got separation on the shot. He got bumped earlier, but he does a great job of getting separation and getting the shot up.
Jaqueline Roberts off to Jason Edwards in the paint, trying to muscle his way in, and Kendall Weaver forced a tie-up. It'll stay with Vanderbilt on the arrow with 15 on the shot clock.
Excellent call by the official that time.
Yep.
Edwards is a guy that can really get it going, score quick, and he's a guy that will try to take over a game or bring them back.
Doug Schall's right on top of it. If nothing else, if there isn't another tie, the Longhorns would have the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, that's big.
So, and a timeout called by Vanderbilt. We'll take it as well. 2:41 remaining in the half. Texas 31, Vanderbilt 19. Longhorn basketball continues in a moment.
Dulce Vita Blanco Tequila will give you a winning taste in every sip. Made with 100% organic blue agave harvested in Los Altos, Mexico, Dulce Vita Blanco is additive-free and great in a classic margarita. Try the Dulce Vita fruit-infused tequilas that are all natural, low in calories, and made with real fruit. Whether it's spicy pineapple jalapeno, refreshing grapefruit, or mouth-watering lime, Dulce Vita is a hit every time. Dulce Vita Tequila, pure and simple. 40% alcohol by volume, imported by Dulce Vita Spirits, Austin, Texas.
Mark Byington used his first half use it or lose it 30-second timeout. Ronnie Terry still has his at his disposal if he needs it. Longhorns lead by 12. It's their largest lead of the afternoon in this first round SEC tournament game. Texas up 31-19. Vanderbilt will have 15 seconds on the shot clock. 2:41 on the first half game clock. You were marking during the break. It was good to see that three-pointer go down for Trey Johnson.
No doubt about it. Now you play your 3-possession stop bucket. Try to get us 3 stops, 3 buckets. Really play solid and go into halftime with momentum.
Commodores inbound underneath McLaughlin. Stutter step and then recovered it inside against Kaluma. Goes up, left it short, rebound Kaluma, and then McLaughlin fouled him. That was great. What defense by Kaluma, forcing the shot a second time against McLaughlin here in the last couple of minutes to be short, and then McLaughlin in frustration fouls him, and that's 2 on Devin McLaughlin, and the Longhorns are in the double bonus, so Kaluma will be on the line for 2 free throws.
Well, that's good defense without fouling. As a result, one mistake led to another. He missed the shot, and then he fouled, so now it puts Texas on the line with 2 free throws.
Arthur's 1 out of 2 from the line. He'll shoot 2 here with 2:35 remaining in the half. First one for Art, good. We'll have one more. Jason Edwards had checked out briefly. He's back on. And Jalen Carey with 2 fouls will check back in. McLaughlin with 2 fouls takes a seat, as well as MJ Collins.
Texas going a little bigger lineup on the perimeter.
Shedrick back on the floor for the Longhorns. Devon Pryor returning as well. Second free throw for Kaluma is good. 9 first half points for Arthur. Longhorns up by 14. 33-19 with 2.5 minutes remaining in the first half. On the left side, A.J. Hoggard works it out. Tyler Nickel, long-range 3, and he rattles it in. That's the first made three of the ball game for Vanderbilt. That cuts the lead back to 11 at 33-22. Mark into the front court. He dishes it to Trey Johnson. Rolls the dribble to the right side. Trey, cross-court pass, Kaluma. Arthur drives into the paint, around traffic, and a thunderous slam dunk from Arthur Kaluma.
Good finish, good move on the turn down the three, taking it to the rim.
11 first-half points for Kaluma. The Longhorns lead by 13, 35-22. Hoggard trying to work his way inside. Shot rejected by Tremont Mark. Longhorns have it. And Tremont will bring it into the front court. He's guarded by A.J. Hoggard. Goes right around him to the hoop. He scores with a left-hand runner. Tremont with 9.5. It's a 15-point Texas lead at 37-22.
Well, he might have got fouled on the shot, but good job of getting to the rim, protecting the ball, and finishing.
Hoggard on the right side. 90 seconds remaining in the first half. Hoggard trying to dribble penetrate. Can't do it. Cross-court pass. Tyler Tanner trying to drive around Devon Pryor. And stepping on the sideline was Tyler Nickel. Another Vanderbilt turnover. That'll be their 6th of this first half. The Longhorns will have the ball with 1:24 remaining in the half, leading by 15.
But take a little bit of time off the clock unless you get a layup or something. Make them guard you.
It'll be inbounded. MJ Collins just checked back in for Vanderbilt. Inbounded to Pryor, then quickly back to Johnson. Trey on the right side. He's picked up by MJ Collins to the right wing. Bounce pass up top, Tremont Mark. Tyler Tanner the matchup there. Now to the right side, again to Johnson. Top of the arc, bounce pass. Sliding in is Shedrick. He's hip checked right there, right side of the lane. Caden will go to the line for 2 free throws. And that Vanderbilt foul, it's on Jalen Carey, and that's 3.
Well, Craig, Trey Johnson does a good job of getting other players involved. You see it that time, just a pick and roll, that time dishing the ball. He really sees the floor extremely well.
Caden Shedrick's first trip to the line today for the season, 64%, 65% in conference play, and he rattles home the first of 2. He'll have another. As the Longhorns add to their largest lead, it's now at 16. McLaughlin with 2 fouls checks in. Carey with 3 fouls checks out. Here comes the second one for Caden Shedrick. Trying to make it a 17-point Longhorn advantage. He does. 6 first-half points. Now, Devon Pryor checks out. Kendall Weaver back on the floor for Texas. 1:09 remaining in the half.
Well, you want anybody on the floor with 2 to get them all, especially if you're on the defensive end.
Into the front court on the dribble is Tyler Tanner. To the right side with it, trying to drive to the hoop. He did. He got around traffic and scored.
Got to come over and help. Somebody's got to come over and help on that white line.
15-point Longhorn lead, 39-24. Inside a minute remaining in the half. Here's Teron Mark on the dribble to the right side of Trey Johnson. Johnson, top of the arc, almost lost the dribble. Had to recover it on the left side. NBA range 3, and that's off the rim, no good. Rebound Vanderbilt. There's about 9 seconds difference between the game and shot clock. Tyler Tanner on the dribble. Tanner trying to drive in, and the Longhorns commit a foul. That'll be their 7th team foul. It'll be a 1-and-1 coming for Vanderbilt. The foul was on Tremont Mark, his first. And so now on the free throw line will be Tyler Tanner. 75% from the foul line for the freshman from Brentwood, Tennessee. A little bit less in SEC games, 64%. This is a 1-and-1 with 31.5 remaining in the half. So 1-and-1 for Tyler Tanner, and the front end is good. He'll have one more. Jordan Pope will check in to run the offense for Texas in the final half minute of the first half, replacing Kendall Weaver. So here's the second one for Tyler Tanner. And this one for Tanner is good.
You want to use as much clock as you can on this possession.
They'll work for the final shot. Inbounded to Mark. A little bit of pressure from the Commodores. It drops off now. Tremont will bring it into the front court. The difference between the game clock and the shot clock almost negligible. Out to Pope. 18 seconds. Jordan on the right side. Working against Edwards. Down to 12. Off to Trey Johnson. 10 seconds. To the right side. Here's Trey driving into the paint. Right side. Spins. Turns on the baseline. Leans in. Puts it up. He hits it.
Big
Johnson
time shot.
Knocks it down. He has 9. 2 seconds. 1. Half court. 3-pointer off the mark. by Jason Edwards, and the Longhorns will take a 15-point lead into the locker room at halftime.
Well, I thought they did a good job of rotating guys off the bench, and they really played well. They did not allow Vanderbilt to get started on the board, second chance opportunities.
Into the first half from here in Nashville with a score of the Texas Longhorns 41, the Vanderbilt Commodores 26. Coming up, Dave Pulaski in our Longhorn Radio Network studios from Learfield will look all around college basketball and more when Longhorn basketball from the 2025 SEC Men's Basketball Tournament continues in a moment.
Cheers to a great day and this ice-cold Corona.
You know what would make this day even better? My grandma's carne asada.
Or your grandma here with us, making carne asada.
She does love a cold Corona.
Throw in some dancing.
Oh, we can watch the game.
I'll drink to that.
So a backyard concert with football, food, dancing, and Corona?
And your grandma.
Or we could keep it simple.
Simple is good. Want a Corona?
Thanks. Salud to the perfect day.
Corona, la vida más fina. Get your Corona at ordercorona.com. Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Import, Chicago, Illinois.
Welcome to the world of WinStar, where the thrills are bigger than ever. Get lost in our 2-story luxury spa. Enjoy 36 holes of championship golf. Savor a world of dining experiences. Rest in one of our vast hotel towers and catch the biggest names in music and comedy at the spectacular Lucas Oil Live, all just 1 hour north of DFW. So come live in the wow at the world of WinStar.
It's a mower extravaganza at Ewald Kubota. Hi, I'm John Ewald. So stop by one of our locations and check out our huge selection of Kubota mowers. For residential or commercial use, from zero turn to front mount, from stand on to walk behind, we've got the right machine at the right price. And right now, Kubota is offering incredible savings and finance offers on all mowers. So stop by one of our locations or visit us online at ewaldkubota.com.
At St. David's Healthcare, we talk a lot about being the best. It's not just talk. We show it through innovation, hard work, heart, and of course, victories. St. David's Healthcare is proud to be an official healthcare provider of Texas athletics. And as UT Athletic Director Chris Del Conte would say,
The best is here, and together we are changing the world. Hook 'em.
It's halftime on the Longhorn Radio Network. Now let's head to the Learfield Network Studios.
Halftime at Bridgestone Arena in Nashville as we get this 2025 SEC Men's Basketball Tournament underway right now. The Longhorns in front of Vanderbilt, 41-26. Dave Pulaski inside the Learfield Network Studios. Let's get you caught up on the other action taking place on this first day of the SEC Tournament. We had one game that preceded ours. It was the number 16 seed South Carolina taking on the number 9 seed Arkansas Razorbacks. Arkansas among the last 4 buys for the NCAA Tournament, according to ESPN's bracketology, but a loss to the last place Gamecocks would certainly throw a wrench into those plans. Things were looking pretty good for the Razorbacks, at least early in the second half.
He'll lob it for Pringle, but he missed the dunk. He missed the dunk, and Brazil's out of there with a rebound. Hogs in transition. They lob it to Billy on the other end, and he throws it down. Richmond didn't miss, and Arkansas is back up by 20.
Chuck Barrett from Learfield. It was a 54-34 lead for Arkansas at the 17-minute mark in the second half. Gamecocks would scratch back into the ball game. They would trim it to a 1-point deficit at 61-60. But Arkansas with a couple of big buckets, DJ Wagner with a 3-pointer, and then the Razorbacks knock down their free throws at the end, and they take care of business, defeating South Carolina in the opener of the SEC tournament, 72-68. So it'll be the Hogs and number 8 seed Ole Miss matching up in the second round tomorrow at noon. Taking a look at some of the other games yet to come, it'll be a 6 o'clock tip-off from Bridgestone Arena between number 10 seed Mississippi State and number 15 seed LSU. The Bulldogs with a 93-92 loss at Arkansas on Saturday. They've dropped 2 in a row and 4 of their last 5, but the only win during that stretch came against LSU, who has lost 4 straight meetings with Mississippi State dating back to February of 2022. The winner of that game would get number 7 seed Missouri in the second round tomorrow. Rounding out the SEC schedule for tonight, number 11 seed Georgia will take on number 14 seed Oklahoma, as the Bulldogs currently on the right side of the bubble in the NCAA tournament as a number 9 seed. Oklahoma among the last 4 in, according to ESPN's bracketology. Georgia's Mike White looking for his 300th career win, 299 and 172 in his 14th season as a head coach, his third year at Georgia. They're on a 4-game winning streak, which began against number 3 Florida to get them into the tournament field, according to the latest projections. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we'll get you up to date on the other nationally significant games going on around college basketball, with championship week going on in full swing. Right now, it's Texas up 41-26 on Vanderbilt on the Longhorn Radio Network from Learfield.
Put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, Honey Bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Ma, is this how you feed a hamster?
I think so.
Is my homework right?
I think so.
Is, this milk still good?
I think so.
When it comes to parenting, sometimes it's okay to think you know. But when it's something as important as your child's car seat, don't just think. No. Double check if your child is in the right seat for their age and size. It'll help protect them in a car crash. Don't just think. No, by visiting nhtsa.gov/the right seat. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Halftime continues from the Music City. Texas in control against Vanderbilt, up 41-26 in the first round of the SEC men's basketball tournament. Dave Pulaski inside the Learfield Network studios. One top 25 game taking place today. It's already finished in Kansas City in the Big 12 second round. Number 12 Iowa State disposes of Cincinnati 76-56. Meanwhile, on Bubble Watch in the ACC tournament second round, North Carolina taking on Notre Dame. Tar Heels currently among the first 4 out to the field of 68 in ESPN's bracketology, but they were knocking down triples against the Fighting Irish.
Carolina with the lead and the ball. Largest lead has been 14. Withers is on a heater. Why not? A fifth three-pointer.
That's Jones Angel from Learfield as North Carolina takes care of business against Notre Dame, winning 76-56. Tar Heels into the quarterfinals. They'll take on Wake Forest tomorrow as they look to get onto the right side of the NCAA tournament field. Right now, Texas up 15 on Vandy, 41-26. We'll have your first half stats next on the Longhorn Radio Network from Learfield.
Hey, so what's a great way to spread awareness that driving high is illegal everywhere? A catchy song, of course.
You can run, but you can't drive high. You can run, but you can't drive high.
Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
Heather and I had an argument just like any other couple. I was lost. I had snapped. I had a gun and I was going to take my own life. Heather helped me realize that there was still a life to live for the better of myself, my family. My weapon is now safely put away.
A moment of crisis can happen to anyone. Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
Halftime here in Nashville with Texas leading the team from Nashville, Vanderbilt, here in the first round of the SEC tournament. Take a look at the first half numbers in this. Texas shot 48% from the floor. They were 14 for 29, just 1 of 8 from three-point range. That one was converted by Trey Johnson. 12 of 17 from the free throw line, 71%. Vanderbilt, conversely, hit just 9 of 29 shots. Same amount of shots taken as the Longhorns, made 5 fewer, 31% for the Commodores. 1 of 9 from three-point range, 7 of 9 from the foul line. Rebounding edge, significantly the Texas. That was a big factor that turned the game in Vanderbilt's favor the meeting last month. But the Longhorns with a 24-14 edge in rebounding. Turnovers. Longhorns only had 5 in the first half. Vanderbilt had 5. And Texas has an 8-4 edge in the points off the turnovers. Points in the paint favored Texas, 22-16. Second chance points. Those were big for Vandy last month. Not today so far. 7-0. The second chance points for the Horns. Fast break points favor the Commodores, 6-3. And the bench points, 4-3. 2 ties, 2 lead changes. Longhorns have led by as many as 17 at 39-22 late in the half. They have a 15-point lead right now at intermission at 41-26. And individually, Vanderbilt, without a player in double figures, Chris Magnon with 6 points to lead the Commodores, 5 for Tyler Nickel, 5 for Jason Edwards, 4 points for Tyler Tanner, and then 2 points for A.J. Hoggard. And that's it. The Longhorns, led by Arthur Kaluma's 11 points and 5 rebounds in the first half. 9 points from Tremont Mark, 9 from Trey Johnson. Trey is 3 of 8 from the floor, 1 of 4 from three-point range, and made both of his free throws. 6 points, 3 rebounds from Caden Shedrick. 2 points and 7 first-half rebounds from Jason Kent. Julian Larry with a point. Kendall Weaver did not score in the first half, but he had 5 rebounds and 2 assists. At the half, Texas leads Vanderbilt by a score of 41-26. If the Longhorns maintain the lead and win, they'll move on to play at the same time tomorrow afternoon against Texas A&M in the second round of the SEC tournament. Second half of this game coming up when Longhorn basketball continues in a moment.
Jan from Toyota here. Feeling cooped up from winter? Well, now until March 31st is the perfect time for a new Toyota, like Camry, Grand Highlander, and more. So you can get back out there and do the things you love, like hitching up the boat to a Tundra for a lake day.
I haven't water skied in a long time.
Live out your spring fantasies with a new Toyota. Come in today.
Go from dreaming it to driving it. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Toyota, let's go places.
As Texans, we have many reasons to be proud of the Lone Star State. Showing our pride by saying, don't mess with Texas, means we gotta step up, walk the walk, do our part to keep Texas clean. Because after all these years, all the roads we travel, and all of our traditions, for all us Texans, don't mess with Texas means don't litter. Brought to you by the Texas Department of Transportation.
When the game goes into overtime, but the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. Welcome to the world of WinStar, where the thrills are bigger than ever. Get lost in our 2-story luxury spa. Enjoy 36 holes of championship golf. Savor a world of dining experiences. Rest in one of our vast hotel towers and catch the biggest names in music and comedy at the spectacular Lucas Oil Live, all just 1 hour north of DFW. So come live in the wow at the World of WinStar.
This copyrighted broadcast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield under the broadcasting rights granted by the University of Texas. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the expressed written consent of the University of Texas and Learfield. Announcers are provided by Learfield and approved by the University of Texas.
Right now, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. Live from Nashville, Tennessee, you're listening to Texas Longhorns basketball from Learfield. We get ready to start the second half from Bridgestone Arena here in Nashville. First round action at the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament. Craig Way, Eddie Orrin with you here. And the Longhorns, as difficult as things were in the second half of the game in Nashville, here in Nashville last month, that's how promising and positive they were in the first half here today.
And you know what I always say now, don't make me call the first time out.
That's right. That's right. And so how do they prevent that from happening?
Defense, rebounding, just getting after them. Just be solid on 2 areas and share the ball, spread the floor, and attack.
For Vanderbilt, original starting 5 on the floor, A.J. Hoggard, Jason Edwards, Chris Magnon, Tyler Nickel, and Devin McLaughlin. For the Longhorns, as they prepare to break the huddle over right in front of the Texas bench, it'll be their original 5 of Jordan Pope, Tremont Mark, Trey Johnson, Arthur Kaluma, and Caden Shedrick. Longhorns in the burnt orange, Vanderbilt in the white. It will be Texas basketball, moving from right to left here in half number 2, with the Longhorns up by 15 points at 41-26. Again, the winner will move on to face Texas A&M tomorrow afternoon, same time, right around 2:30 on the tip-off.
Craig, the one thing that Vanderbilt can get back in this game that they can do so well is shoot threes. We got to defend that 3.
Overall, a 33% three-point shooting. Longhorns actually a better three-point percentage team throughout the course of the season, but Vanderbilt made a bunch of them in the second half to win the first matchup last month. All right, Arthur Kaluma to inbound for Texas. Works it to Tremont Mark. He'll bring it into the front court for the Longhorns. A pass stolen, but Magnon stepped out of bounds. Now, that's one thing. You just got to be wary, and that was another thing Vanderbilt did very well, was coming up with some turnovers on some passes that weren't right on the mark, and no pun intended, Tremont Mark's pass to Trey Johnson kind of floated out.
He showed everybody what he's doing. There's no decision to do anything else with it.
Longhorns get it back because Magnon couldn't keep his balance, stepped on the sideline. 23 on the shot clock for Texas. Inbounded in the backcourt to Kaluma. Now to Mark. And Tremont will bring it into the front court against A.J. Hoggard. To the right side, Tremont still operating the dribble. Now top of the arc, inside the arc with 10 to shoot. To Jordan Pope. Pope driving against Edwards, picks up the dribble, needs help. To Mark again. 5 on the shot clock. Tremont drives in the paint, flips up a left-hander off the glass, put back up, and the shot is disallowed, I believe, on an offensive foul they're going to call on Caden Shedrick. Yep. Shedrick's tip of the shot was going off. It came off the glass, didn't hit the rim with 1 second left. Shedrick got it off in time, but he plowed into a Commodore defender, and so that's going to be a second foul on Caden.
Yeah, he didn't go over the back. You're right. He plowed right into him.
So Vanderbilt with the ball. Texas up 15. Magnon, top of the arc on the dribble, drops it off now to A.J. Hoggard to the right side. Hoggard picks up the dribble, dumps it into the corner to Tyler Nickel. Back to Hoggard on the right wing. Calls for a screen on the right side. Now works it to Nickel. Tyler Nickel trying to drive into the paint. Spins, turns, 10 to shoot. Now leaves it for Edwards, who will crank up a 3, and he hits it. That's their first made 3.
Well,
second made 3 of the game.
He's got quick release, and he can knock it down. And along with Nichols, some of those other guys, you got to guard them, be there on the catch.
1 minute in the second half, the lead down to 12 at 41-29. Kaluma has it. Now drops it off to Jordan Pope. Pope to Tremont Mark on the left side. Mark trying to dribble penetrate. 10 on the shot clock. Mark to the right wing with it. Sends it. Trey Johnson fires up a three-pointer. Missed it off the back iron. Rebound. Vanderbilt. Magnon has it. Into the front court to Hoggart. Cross the floor. Tyler Nichols shooting a three. That's no good off the rim. Rebound loose on the floor. And Vanderbilt got it back to Nickel. Missed another three. Rebound tapped out. Vanderbilt got it again. To the right side. And they've got a foul. No, actually Magnon is down on the floor. So the official stopped play. Magnon hit the deck. Well, this is what Vanderbilt did in the second half, Eddie. Rebound missed shots, the offensive rebounds, and they hit threes.
You're exactly right. And up there, I remember you saying, look out. And here they came.
Yep. It's still a 12-point Texas lead for the moment, 41-29. Magnon will check out. And for the Commodores, M.J. Collins Jr. will be back on the floor. Vanderbilt will have 19 on the shot clock. Tyler Nickel got 2 looks at it. Missed them both.
Yeah, and he's the guy that hit 3 for 5 in Nashville.
It's inbounded. Now to Hoggart. On the left side. Rolls at top of the arc, and he's had a path to the bucket. Goes in. Missed it, but he's fouled by Caden Shedrick. Sometimes that whole side gets left wide open, Eddie, and it allows for a player with quickness to be able to drive to the hoop.
It's almost like they run a running pick where they use the handoff as a screener, and it clears.
Well, the foul's on Shedrick, who's picked up 2 quick fouls here in less than 2 minutes of the second half. He now has 3. And here's Hoggart on the line shooting 2. A.J. Hoggart, 75% from the foul line. Missed the first, and he shot 86% from the line in conference play as Shedrick checks out, along with Kaluma. Back on the floor for Texas, Jason Kent back out there. And also Zarek Onyema. Second free throw for Hoggart is good, 1 out of 2. And it's an 11-point Longhorn lead. Texas has not yet scored in the second half. Vanderbilt has scored the first 4 points of the second half. It's 41-30 Longhorns. We played just about 2 minutes of the second half. To the right side is Pope. Driving to the baseline. Pull up. 18-footer short. Rebound Vanderbilt. Here come the Commodores. Nickel into the front court. Sends it out to McLaughlin to the left side. Edwards guarded by Pope. Pulls the ball out between the legs dribble. Rolls inside. Off balance jumper off the rim. No good. Jason Kent clears the Texas rebound. Into the front court to Trey Johnson. Trying to drive past Collins. He does and lays it in.
Good job of getting to the rim. Focusing on the shot. Good job.
Texas up 13, 43-30. 2.5 minutes gone by second half. Johnson now with 11 points. Hoggart on the left side at the top of the arc. Trying to take Jason Kent off the dribble. Driving in. Spins. Turns now to the cutting Nickel. Down the lane. Floats it. Left it short. Got his own rebound. Out front Collins. Into the paint. Pulls the ball back out front now. On the left side, trying to go past Onyema. Into the lane, spins, turns, in trouble, left it short, got his own rebound, tipped to him, McLaughlin a lay-in. This is what happened in that second half, was all those offensive rebounds, and all of a sudden Vanderbilt's getting them here.
Yeah, they got more offensive rebounds this half so far than they had the first half all total.
McLaughlin now with 6 points on it, and the Longhorn lead is 11. A reach-in foul on M.J. Collins, who thought he had a tie-up. Doug Schau says nope. So Collins picks up the foul, his first, second team foul. So McLaughlin now with 6 points as he's hit a couple of buckets here in the second half. Tremont Mark checks out. Kendall Weaver back on. Texas lead is 11, 43-32, 16:47 to go.
Well, make Vanderbilt guard.
Weaver to check. Inbound right in front of us. Does so. To Pope on the right side. Jordan on the dribble, looking, and into the corner now to Jason Kent. Kent back to Pope, deep in the right corner, trying to drive on Tyler Nickel. Fade away, right elbow jumper, good for Pope.
Good bucket, good job of keeping the ball out of the corner where they could trap you.
5 points for Pope. Longhorn lead is 13 at 45-32, 16:25 to go. Hoggart on the dribble. To the right side, goes down the lane, had a path but missed it, and the rebound for Texas to Jason Kent. Into the front court, bounce past Trey Johnson. Picks up the dribble, drives in the lane now, dumped it underneath. There's going to be another Vanderbilt foul on the floor. Doug Schau, the crew chief, says that foul is on Jason Edwards. That's his first.
Well, that last play was what you're talking about, Vanderbilt, how they clear out, and they missed the shot, but they had to clear out and using the handoff as a screener.
Jalen Carey back on the floor for the Commodores, checks back in with 3 fouls. Tyler Nickel checks out. Apparently Chris Magnon's all right. He's back on the floor now, and Jason Edwards checks out for the Commodores. Trey Johnson inbounds to Zara Kanyema, working against Jalen Carey. In the paint, spins, turns, squares up, shoots, and scores. Kanyema's first bucket. Texas back up 15. That was the halftime margin. 47-32 Longhorns, 4 minutes gone by second half.
Good job of facing up at the rim.
Hoggard on the right side lobs it in for Carey, and he lost control of it. Couldn't get it. Went out of bounds. It belonged to Texas after the timeout. Yes, Texas gave Vanderbilt a little bit of a situation in the in the first minutes of the second half as the Commodores made a little push, but the Longhorns had pushed back. 15-50 to go in the ball game with the score Texas 47, Vanderbilt 32 from the SEC basketball tournament here in Nashville on the Longhorn Radio Network from Learfield.
You say you never give in to a meltdown and never fill your feed with kid photos. You say you'd never put a pacifier in your mouth to clean it and never let them run wild through the grocery store. So when you say you'd never let them get into a car without you there, no, it can happen. 1 in 4 hot car deaths happen when a kid gets into an unlocked car and can't get out. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Texas led by 15 at the half. They still lead by 15. 15:50 to go. It's 47-32 Longhorns. Craig Ray and Eddie Orrin with here. Longhorns have hit their last 3 shots. Vanderbilt made the little push, got it down to 11, but now the Commodores have only connected on one of their last 7 shots, Eddie, as the Longhorn defense really has stepped up.
Well, you know, I always say make shooters drivers, make drivers shooters, and Texas doing a good job. Those three-point shooters really make them pressure and make them give up the ball or drive the basket.
How about Jason Kent with 9 rebounds here this afternoon?
Boy, he's done a good job. And that's been a big difference. We're not allowing – well, we had a couple flurries there where they got a couple offensive boards, but he's doing a good job of really protecting the rim as well.
Longhorns have hit 3 of 6 shots to open the second half. Vanderbilt just 2 of 8 from the floor. Rebounding edge overall to Texas, 26-21, and that was even with that flurry of rebounds that Vanderbilt had at the start of the second half. They have 7 offensive rebounds at halftime.
Maybe 1?
They had 3.
3?
So they've had 4 in the first 4 minutes of the second half. The Longhorns have stemmed the tide at least momentarily. Turnovers, Longhorns had 5 of the half, still have 5. Vanderbilt had 5 of the half. They turned it over once here in the second half. Texas, an 8-4 edge in the points off the turnovers.
But one good thing on those second chance opportunities, they took threes and they missed them. So usually that's usually when threes go down.
Out of the timeout, it's Texas basketball. And it is Jordan Pope, Kendall Weaver, Trey Johnson, Jason Kent, and Zara Kanyema. Inbounded to Weaver, now back to Pope, who will work the ball into the front court. Jordan being guarded by A.J. Hoggard. Swings a pass to the right side. Trey Johnson tightly guarded by Chris Magnon. Johnson trying to drive past him. Down to the baseline. Got bumped. Flipped the pass up. It hit the side of the glass. I think it's because he got bumped from behind. There was no call in the rebound of Vanderbilt. Here's Magnon trying to drive past Jason Kent. Can't do it. Flips it back out front to Hoggard. Thought about a 3. Now he'll shoot the 3. It rattled out. And the rebound, Kent. His 10th rebound of the ball game. Into the front court. Now to Weaver. Off to Johnson. Over to the left side. Trey Working it around to the top of the arc. Almost lost it against Magnon, but picks it up. Now feeds a pass to Kent at the foul line. He works into the paint. He almost lost it. Got it back. Goes up. Off the glass. Missed it. Weaver pulls down the offensive rebound and the Horns reset.
Big time rebound. Good hustle play.
Tenacity on the offensive glass. Here goes Pope down the lane off the glass. Missed it. And a foul was called, so the follow slam by Weaver won't go. But the foul is on Hoggard. That's his third. And that's going to get Jordan Pope to the line for 2 free throws.
Well, Kendall Weaver, we've missed him.
No question what he's been able to do, and that spark getting back in there. So here's Pope. Jordan hit a free throw in the first half to finish off an old-fashioned three-point play. He'll have 2 here. First one for Pope is good. For Vanderbilt, Tyler Nickel and Tyler Tanner return to the lineup. MJ Collins and A.J. Hoggard check out for the Commodores. Here's the second free throw for Jordan Pope, and this one is good. This matches the largest Texas lead. They led 39-22. Now it's 49-32. Up 17 with 14:43 to go. On the left side, Tyler Tanner shuttles a pass to the right side. Magnon drives down the lane, threw it up off balance, missed it, but he's fouled. Trey Johnson got him. And on Johnson, that will be his second. It'll be 2 free throws to come.
Well, look for Vanderbilt. Anytime Trey, the guys got the ball, they go to Trey's man, go at it, and try to get him out of the game.
Tyler Tanner hit 2 free throws in the first half. So he'll have 2 here. And the first one for Tanner is off the rim, no good. As we mentioned, Tanner shot 75% overall during the year, but only 64% in conference play. Or excuse me, it's Magnon on the line, not Tanner, excuse me. Magnon, and that's his first miss after he was 4 for 4 from the line, but he does hit that one. So Magnon, 1 out of 2, and it trims the Texas margin back down to 16 at 49-33. 14 and a half to go. Into the front court with a pass to Jordan Pope. Pope onto the right side, now to Trey Johnson. Back it goes to Pope, again to Trey. Again, Jordan Pope. Bounce pass in the corner. Kendall Weaver driving it, gets around traffic, missed it. It was tipped up, and McLaughlin with a rebound for Vanderbilt. Into the front court, here's Tyler Tanner trying to weave through some traffic. Still working it into the paint, now down into the right corner. Back out front, Magnon. Magnon top of the arc against Jason Kent, trying to get around him. Kent fouled him going up. And one thing you can get back into the game is with free throws. That's how South Carolina climbed back into that game with Arkansas. They got to the line, got into the bonus early, and cut a 20-point deficit down to 1 and had 2 chances to take the lead. Arkansas eventually able to stem the tide and win by 4. And Arkansas play Ole Miss tomorrow. Here's Magnon back on the line. He hit 1 out of 2 a moment ago. And the first one is short off the front iron. The foul on Kent is his first. Zarek Onyema checks out. Arthur Kaluma back on the floor for the Longhorns.
Well, they're definitely attacking that rim. They're going at the rim.
Here's the second free throw for Magnon. Again, he splits the pair. 8 points for Chris Magnon. The Texas lead is 15 with 14 minutes to go. 49-34 Longhorns. Into the front court, Pope to Kaluma. Now to Kendall Weaver. Back to Jordan Pope. Rolls the dribble from the right side to the left, still pounding it out. Started to go inside the arc, now leaves it for Trey Johnson with 10 on the shot clock. Johnson calls for a high screen. Kent supplies it. Johnson still between the circles. Drives to the left side, rifles a pass in, threw it away. It was intended for Kent, but he was cutting to the basket, and that's a Texas turnover. So, Vanderbilt gets it back. 13:35 to go with Texas up 15. Ball was inbounded, and Tyler Tanner brings it into the front court for the Commodores. Top of the arc, almost walked and got rid of the basketball to Jalen Carey's back out there playing with 3 fouls. Into the corner to Magnon. Guarded by Trey Johnson, trying to drive on him in the paint, spins, turns, and muscles it home.
Boy, he made a good shot, and Trey Johnson did a good job of not fouling, but they're going right at it. They're going right at him and right at the rim.
Mannion with 10, the lead down to 13, 49-36. Kendall Weaver has it on the left wing. Weaver to Jordan Pope as Vanderbilt shows a 2-3 zone. They dropped into a zone now. Longhorns trying to take the measure of it. Here's Weaver, bounce pass. Kaluma, left baseline. 7 on the shot clock. Arthur driving against Tyler Nickel. Now in some trouble. 4 to shoot. Out front, Johnson has to launch a 3. Good! Right by the shot clock buzzer. Trey Johnson drops the clutch 3. He has 14, and the Longhorn lead is 16, 52-36.
He knew exactly how much time was on the clock.
To the right side, Tyler Tanner. To the left wing, Devin McLaughlin, guarded by Kaluma. Sends a pass underneath. Nickel got away from the defense and scores off the glass. So the lead again, cut to 14. 12-18 to go. 52-38 Longhorns. Into the front court. Jordan Pope on the dribble. Drops it for Trey Johnson. Now to Arthur Kaluma. Over to the left side to Kendall Weaver. And Vanderbilt in that 2-3 zone. Bounce pass into the left corner to Kaluma. Now to Pope. Top of the arc to the right side. 10 on the shot clock to Weaver. Now to Trey Johnson, right wing. Johnson, left-hand dribble. Down to 5 to shoot. Trey in some trouble. Rifles a pass. Kaluma from the right elbow. Fade away off the back iron. No good. Weaver fighting to tip the rebound, but it's controlled by Vanderbilt in the corner. Into the front court. On the dribble, Tyler Tanner. Angles from right to left. 11:40 to go with Texas up 14. Here's Tanner driving down the lane. Runner no good, but he's fouled. And he'll have 2 free throws. The foul is on Weaver. So Kendall picks up his first personal. There'll be 2 free throws to come after the official timeout. 11:36 remaining in the ball game here in the first round of the SEC men's basketball tournament in Nashville. It's Texas 52, Vanderbilt 38 on the Longhorn Radio Network from Learfield.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with an SPF of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Basketball is brought to you in part by Bud Light, proud sponsor of Texas Athletics. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Tyler Tanner will go to the free throw line when we come out of this timeout, with Texas leading Vanderbilt by 14 points, 52-38. Longhorns have led by as many as 17, and they were up by 15 at the half. Vanderbilt made a brief push at the start of the second half, cut it to 11 before the Horns pushed it back to 17. Now it's at 14 with Tyler Tanner preparing to go to the foul line. The Longhorns have already committed 5 team fouls here in the second half. So, as you pointed out, Eddie Orn, the Commodores are really trying to force the issue by pushing the ball inside.
Well, and this is a time where your energy's got to come up. Your energy level's got to come up, because Vanderbilt's going to up their level. You got to bring it up, and take care of the basketball.
Winner of this game will play Texas A&M tomorrow afternoon about the same time, right around a 2:30 tip. So if the Longhorns win, we'll be on the air at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, same time as we were today. Earlier today, Arkansas survived the run by South Carolina. The Gamecocks, the number 16 seed, cut a 20-point deficit to a single point at 61-60, and South Carolina eventually able to just edge away 72-68. So Arkansas will play Ole Miss tomorrow in the first game here in the second round. And again, the winner of this game will draw Texas A&M. 2 games tonight, Mississippi State against LSU, and then Oklahoma against Georgia. All right, on the free throw line is Tyler Tanner. Tanner, 2 for 2 from the foul line. As we said, 75% from the free throw line this year and 64% in SEC games. But 2 for 2 today, and the first one for Tanner rattles out. No good.
Well, here's where you can make up. No clock running and free throws. They missed that one, but Texas has got to play this next few minutes without fouling. They don't want double. They don't want the bonus initially with 5 fouls.
Here's the second free throw for Tyler Tanner, and this one is good. 1 out of 2 for Tanner. He has 5 points. Longhorn lead is 13 at 52-39. Jordan Pope brings it into the front court for Texas. Off to Tremont Mark. It's Jordan Pope, Tremont Mark, Trey Johnson, Arthur Kaluma, and Caden Shedrick, the original starting 5 for the Longhorns. Facing a 2-3 zone. Mark, a pass inside to Shedrick. Punched a hole in the zone for the slam dunk.
Big time look that time off the dribble.
Texas back up 15 at 54-39, 11-11 to go. Hoggard on the left wing for Vanderbilt. Dishes to Devin McLaughlin. Up top, works it to Jalen Carey. Carey holds up against Shedrick, high post, drops it back behind to Hoggard. 10 to shoot for the Commodores. Hoggard, left wing, trying to go inside, and Mark knocked the ball out of his hands. A little reach around as he popped it out of bounds. 7 to shoot now for Vanderbilt, and Jason Edwards will check back in for Vandy. So Commodores will inbound the ball. 7 on the shot clock, 10:52 on the game clock. Inbound in the corner to Edwards, trying to get past Trey Johnson along the baseline, running out of room. The nickel slices underneath. Bump fouled, and they're going to call that on Kaluma. Arthur will pick up the personal. And on Kaluma, his first, but it is the 16th foul, and Vanderbilt gets a fresh 20. They'll inbound on the baseline to Nickel underneath. Turns, fade away, missed it short, and Kaluma clears the rebound for Texas.
That's the time where Vanderbilt and Nashville made their run. Texas doing a really good job of defending without fouling.
Off to Jordan Pope on the left side. Again, a 2-3 Commodore zone. To the right wing, Tremont Mark trying to drive past Tanner. Pulls up. 17-footer good for Tremont. His first bucket of the second half. Mark with 11. Texas back up 17, matching their largest lead of the ball game. It's 56-39.
Just kept it simple, took what was there.
To the right side is Hoggard, guarded by Kaluma. Looking into the paint. 10-10 remaining in the ball game. Out front to Edwards. Edwards against Trey Johnson. Seeing if he can take him off the dribble. Spins in the paint. Johnson with him step for step. Edwards has to reverse the ball out. Now Nickel got away from Mark, and they're going to get a basket and one. He got away from Tremont Mark, and then Tremont got him as he's going back up on Mark. It is his second, but it's an and one opportunity for Tyler Nickel.
Craig, we need that second line of defense to come over and help. We're not helping.
No doubt. Tyler Nickel, 83% from the free throw line this season, 85% in conference play. From Harrisonburg, Virginia, started off at Virginia Tech. Free throw, good. And the lead trimmed back down to 14 at 56-42, just past the midway mark of the second half. Jamon Mark has it for Texas, off to Jordan Pope on the right side. Pope flips a pass to Mark, left wing, into the corner. Trey Johnson, open for three. You bet! Trey knocks it down. His third tray of the afternoon. Mr. Johnson is just fine, thank you. He has 17 points, and the Longhorns are up 17, 59-42. Here's Hoggard driving, pulls the ball back out. 9.5 to go. Off to Magnon, drives in. They're going to get another foul if he gets on Mark, and Tremont will pick up his third. And Vanderbilt is shooting free throws the rest of the afternoon, so the Longhorns have to be mindful of that in terms of their guarding, trying to guard without fouling, but instead it'll be 2 free throws for Chris Magnon, who's been active from the foul line today. He's 6 out of 8. Commodores are 12 of 18, so Magnon on the line, shooting 2. 9:28 to play in the ball game. First one for Magnon. Off the back iron, no good. He has missed 3 free throws. He was 4 for 4 from the line in the first half. He's 2 for 5 from the line in the second half.
He shows his emotion when he misses. He just goes nuts. But I don't know if they'll stay in that zone because Texas is doing a good job.
Second free throw is good.
Picking it apart a little bit. Let's see if they stay with it.
Magnon, the Commodores' leading scorer. Here's a little bit of pressure now. And Pope having to hustle to get it into the front court. He does. Now dribbles to the left side. Pulls the ball back out front. Off to Tremont Mark. 9:15 to play in the ball game. It's 59-43. And Vanderbilt matches up out of that zone. Here's Pope down the lane. Spins, turns, needs help, locates Mark. 6 on the shot clock. Tremont holds it. Still on the dribble, down to 3. Goes between 2 defenders and lays it in. Tremont Mark now with 13.
Good move to the bucket.
61-43, largest lead of the ball game for Texas, up 18 with 8:50 to go. In the left corner is Jason Edwards, drives in on Caden Shedrick, left it short. Boy, that is a late foul call on Caden Shedrick there. It's almost like you say sometimes the officials wait to see if the shot goes in. And if they don't, they're going to go ahead and call the foul. And on Shedrick, that's his 4th. So the first Longhorn to draw 4 fouls is Caden Shedrick at the 8:46 mark. There'll be 2 free throws to come for Jason Edwards. Jason Edwards, surprisingly, just 1 out of 3 from the line, an 84% free throw shooter. That was all in the first half. Shooting 2, first one good. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Longhorn Radio Network from Learfield. Second free throw to come for Edwards. He got that one. So Caden Shedrick, who has to take a seat after picking up that 4th foul, gives way to Zarek Onyema. Some trapping in backcourt. Longhorns dealing with it. Here's Tremont Mark. Bounce pass to Pope to beat the press into the front court. Pass to Kaluma. Lobs it in for Onyema for the slam dunk. That's how you beat the press.
No doubt about it. Good moving the ball. Good lob. Good finish.
Texas back up 18, 63-45, 8:25 remaining in the ball game. Here is Hoggard. Bounce pass to the baseline. Magnon lost the handle on it, and it's scooped up by Onyema, but he flipped it right out front, and Vanderbilt tries a 3, and it's no good. There's going to be a foul on the floor. Did they call that on Tremont Mark?
Terrible call.
That would be his 4th. He's got his palms up going, are you kidding me? Landis Poole is going to call it, and they're actually going to go to the monitor and see if there's something else. In the meantime, we're at an official timeout with 8:12 remaining in the ball game. The score is Texas 63 and Vanderbilt 45. Longhorn basketball continues in a moment.
As Texans, we have many reasons to be proud of the Lone Star State. Showing our pride by saying, don't mess with Texas, means we gotta step up, walk the walk, do our part to keep Texas clean. Because after all these years, all the roads we travel, and all of our traditions, for all us Texans, don't mess with Texas means don't litter. Brought to you by the Texas Department of Transportation.
It's funny. No matter how well you know this land, you always seem to get lost in it. That's because it's your escape, your place to reconnect to nature and yourself. At Capital Farm Credit, we're proud to help people like you purchase recreational land where you can hunt, fish, four-wheel, or simply get lost in. To learn how we can help you secure land like this, visit CapitalFarmCredit.com. Capital Farm Credit. Together, we're better.
In the game of business, information is your playbook. It's the thing that keeps everyone on the same page so that each player has the knowledge they need to perform their role, work together, and give your team a competitive advantage. The trick, of course, is executing that playbook. And that's where Rico comes in. We're a proud sponsor and business technology provider of Texas Athletics, and we're ready to play for your team whenever you want an edge. We love TMI. Hook 'em horns, Rico. Imagine change.
Texas leading Vanderbilt 63-45 with 8:11 to go in the second half. First round of the SEC men's basketball tournament in Nashville. Dave Pulaski inside the Learfield Network studios with your WinStar World Resort Studio report. Earlier today in SEC tournament action, Arkansas holds off South Carolina 72-68. Razorbacks had a 20-point lead, trimmed down to 1 during the second half, but the Hogs are able to close it out. They'll meet Ole Miss tomorrow in the second round. Meanwhile, a couple of games that are coming up during the night session. Mississippi State tangling with LSU in the 10-15 matchup. Georgia and Oklahoma will go head-to-head. Oklahoma right squarely on the bubble, just like Texas, as they go into the nightcap. That is an 11-14 matchup between the Bulldogs and the Sooners. Georgia's Mike White in search of his 300th career win. He can notch that with a win over the Sooners today. Top 25 action, one game that took place earlier today. Only top 25 team that was in action today. Number 12, Iowa State disposes of Cincinnati 76-56 in the second round of the Big 12 championship in Kansas City. Time to send you back to Bridgestone Arena. Craig Way and Eddie Orrin, guys.
Well, thanks very much, Dave. The announcement just came down. They are calling a flagrant 1 foul on Tremont Mark. So there's a couple of ramifications. An obvious one is that there'll be 2 free throws coming for Vanderbilt and then possession of the basketball. The second is that's Tremont Mark's 4th foul, and it comes with 8:12 to go in the ballgame. So even though the Longhorns are up by 18 points, there's still a lot of basketball left to be played, and we'll see if that turns out to be a key moment in this game.
Yeah, because Vandy's got the perimeter guys that can open this thing up. Edwards to start with, but yeah, I didn't see it. I thought both guys were going for the ball, but there's a reason why they went to the monitor.
Well, Longhorns in the second half have done well offensively, shot 56% from the floor, hit 2 of 3 threes. They both their free throws for the ball game. Now overall, Texas at 51%, Vanderbilt just at 33% shooting, 5 of 14 from the field in the second half. It's a 30-24 edge in rebound for the Longhorns. Turnovers, 6 for Texas, 6 for Vanderbilt, and Texas with an 8-6 edge in points off the turnovers. But Vanderbilt will have 2 shots for Chris Magnon with nobody standing on the line, and then the Commodores are going to get possession of the ball. So this could go very quickly, whittled down from the 18-point margin that's there at the moment. Magnon, 7 of 10 from the foul line. Overall, he has missed. He's 3 out of 6 here in the second half after 4 for 4 in the first half. First one is good. We'll have one more. Second one for Magnon, and it rattled out. He is 4 out of 8 from the foul line.
Unbelievable. First half, he was so good, in the second half.
Well, what they called, Tremont Mark went up. He's looking up at the ball, but the right hand caught Magnon in the face, and that's why they called it. So now, Vanderbilt ball, Texas up 17, 63-46. It'll be inbound to Tyler Nickel, weaving inside and flips a shot home. Nickel with 12, the lead is down to 15, 63-48, as we get under 8 minutes remaining in the ball game. Pope on the dribble. Top of the arc against McLaughlin, trying to drive past him. He does. Uses the glass to score.
Great angle. He got the angle and shot and floater, knocked it down. Big bucket.
17-point Texas lead, 65-48. Here's Edwards, top of the arc. Bounce past McLaughlin, lost it off his shin. Scooped up by Onyema, and the pass was deflected but picked up by Jordan Pope. Now into the front court, Pope against Magnon. 65-48 Texas, 7.5 to go.
Make them guard you.
Bounce pass to Trey Johnson, left wing. Working against Jason Edwards. Left side of the lane, spins, turns, fadeaway from the baseline, off the rim, no good. 2 Longhorns hit the deck, and Vanderbilt comes away with a rebound. Nickel out front, skipping through traffic. Now in the corner, Edwards a 3. It rattled out. Boy, they had an easy lay-in and passed on it for a 3.
They sure did.
And that was Hoggard who passed into the corner, but Edwards missed the 3, and the Longhorns have the rebound. Up 17 with 7 minutes to go. Here's Johnson driving baseline in traffic, had his shot rejected, went out of bounds off Vanderbilt. It'll be Texas basketball with 6:58 to go.
So play like you're ahead when you gather the ball. Take your time, make them play defense, and then really be solid on the other end. They're driving to the bucket, kicking for threes.
One key thing is that flagrant 1 did not wind up hurting Texas. They got 3 points out of the whole thing, but then the Longhorns quickly responded with 2 baskets.
Yeah, it could have been more.
So it's back out to a 17-point advantage. Into the corner, Onyema to the right side. Works it, Johnson, fadeaway from the foul line. It rattled in and out, no good, and the rebound to Jason Edwards for Vanderbilt. Into the front court, Edwards on the left side. Works toward the top of the arc, back to the left, long contested 3, it's good. And timeout call by Vanderbilt.
There's that quick release.
Yeah. Edwards now with 13 points. The lead down to 14. Timeout. 6:42 remaining in the ball game. It's Texas 65, Vanderbilt 51. Longhorn basketball continues in a moment.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
When faced with a disaster, the Cotton companies never fumble. As the trusted recovery partner of global businesses, Cotton is proud to provide property restoration, construction, roofing, temporary housing, culinary, and environmental support services. We're also restoring a long-standing Texas tradition as a proud partner of University of Texas Athletics and the official sponsor of the Lone Star Showdown. One call, one team. Total recovery. Learn more at cottoncompanies.com.
Jan from Toyota here. Feeling cooped up from winter? Well, now until March 31st is the perfect time for a new Toyota, like Camry, Grand Highlander, and more. So you can get back out there and do the things you love, like hitching up the boat to a Tundra for a lake day.
I haven't water skied in a long time.
Live out your spring fantasies with a new Toyota. Come in today.
Go from dreaming it to driving it. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Toyota, let's go places.
SeatGeek is now the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Texas Longhorns. Whether you're buying or selling tickets, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek, so Longhorn fans can fan both Texas baseball and softball with home games coming up. The Longhorn baseball team at UFC Udish Falk Field next week, and then they'll have their first ever SEC home series against LSU weekend after next. And Longhorn softball home at McCombs Field as well. Paul Simon in concert at Bass Concert Hall, April 8th, 10th, and 11th. So check that out through SeatGeek. Here, 6 minutes, 42 seconds remaining in the ball game. Texas leading Vanderbilt 65-51. Longhorns have led the vast majority after Vanderbilt had an early 7-3 lead. Texas rattled off 12 points, 12 unanswered, have not looked back since, and have led by as many as 18. Right now it's a 14-point margin. Commodores got a bucket and a timeout. So Mark Byington, the Vanderbilt coach, with 2 timeouts at his disposal. Rodney Terry has all 3 of his second-half timeouts remaining. Texas outboarding the Commodores. They have throughout the day. It's a little closer, but it's 31-26 the edge there. The turnovers, Texas has only had 1 turnover in the second half and only 6 for the entire day. Vanderbilt with 7 turnovers, 2 in the second half. Longhorns an 8-6 edge in the points off the turnovers and points in the paint that we talked about so big for Vanderbilt in the second half. Today, of that game in the comeback win last month. Today, Texas a 32-26 edge there.
Well, and Texas is doing a good job of answering any type of run that Vanderbilt has with buckets.
So, out of the timeout, it'll be Texas basketball. Jordan Pope running the baseline into Trey Johnson, trapped in the corner, and gets rid of it to Kendall Weaver. You kind of had a feeling that's what this timeout was going to be about pressuring the ball more in the second half.
Well, he was strong with the ball to get it out of that trap.
Caden Shedrick holds it up top. Caden to the left side. Shedrick back out there playing with 4 personal fouls. Now leaves it for Jordan Pope. 8 on the shot clock for Texas. Pope, a long contested 3. It's good! Pope knocks it down. He has 12 points, 9 in the second half. Texas back up 17, 68-51.
Well, we had a good look at that, and it went straight down.
Hoggard lets the ball run into the front court, now to the right side. Magnon has a pass picked off by Pope as Edwards slipped and fell. Jordan has it, pulls it back out. Under 6 minutes to go. Out to Johnson for 3. No good off the rim, and the rebound. Hoggard has it for Vanderbilt. Here's Hoggard driving down the lane, around traffic to score off the glass. Hoggard puts it in, and it's a 68-53 Longhorn lead. They're up by 15, 5:35 to go. Pope with the basketball. And he'll work it into the front court. It's Hoggard onto the right side. And that's going to be a foul on Magnon. Yeah, he just kind of pushed Trey Johnson happened right in front of the officials. It's only the 14th foul against the Commodores, and that's the third personal on Magnon.
As good as he is, he does not get many of those calls.
Inbounded now. Now the Shedder couldn't ignore that one.
No,
Right
no,
in
that
front
knocked
of
him down.
Here's Weaver, top of the arc. Off to Johnson, a pass deflected. It'll go into the backcourt, and it was a foul call. He gets another call there. And the foul was on Magnon, who picks up his fourth. So Magnon picks up his fourth. The Longhorns kind of get rewarded for a sloppy pass that ends up being deflected into the backcourt.
Absolutely right there.
5:11 to go. That's the 15th foul against Vanderbilt. Longhorns already have Vanderbilt in the double bonus now. 5:10 to go. To the left side with it. Jordan Pope swings a pass. Trey Johnson coming off a screen. Drives in, but lost the dribble going up. Picked off by Tyler Nickel. Here's Edwards driving in on Pope. Fouls him. And Vanderbilt wanting goaltending.
I believe they got it, too.
Well, they're going to review it to see if it was still going up or if in the cylinder. First of all, the foul's on Jordan Pope, his third.
I thought he was still going up.
I did as well. Yeah. I don't think they'll call goaltending here, but I do think it'll be 2 free throws. Yeah, they're going to review this.
Where did he get off his feet on that shot?
So they are reviewing it.
Here we go.
And as Edwards went up, I thought it was still on the way up.
I did too.
Okay, so they reviewed it, and no goaltending, but there will be 2 free throws to come for Edwards with 4:57 left. Texas up 13 at 68-55. So Vanderbilt still kind of hanging on the fringes of being right back in this game now. And here's Edwards. Edwards, 3 of 5 from the foul line today. He has a team-high 15 points. And shoots 2 here. First one is good for Edwards. And he'll have one more.
They really have not let him get going because he's a guy that can score in bunches quickly.
Here's the second one for Edwards. That's good. So it's 68-55. The Longhorns are up 13. And they inbound against some pressure, but Johnson will work the dribble against Hoggard as he brings it into the front court now. And flips the pass, Arthur Kaluma. Drives in the paint. Bounce pass. Caden Shedrick was fouled by McLaughlin. It'll be his 4th. It's only the 16th foul. Longhorns will inbound on the baseline. 3rd foul of McLaughlin, so the Longhorns will inbound. 4:42 on the game clock. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Texas up 13 at 68-55.
Win the bonus rest of the way.
Into the corner to Shedrick. Caden holds up. Off to Johnson. Trey drives down the lane. Drew contact. He'll go to the line. The foul might have been on McLaughlin again. If it is, that's his 4th. It is. So his 4th, and now Trey Johnson on the line, and he has 2 free throws here. With Texas up 13 and 4:36 to go. Johnson has made both of his free throw attempts this afternoon. First one for Trey is good. We'll have one more. Tyler Nickel back on the floor for the Commodores, replacing Jaqueline Roberts. Here's a second one for Trey. Got that one as well. Johnson with a game-high 19. Trey 6 of 17 from the floor, 3 of 8 from three-point range, and made all 4 of his free throws. Texas leads by 15, 4.5 minutes to go. 70-55, they're going to get a foul. This one's on Kaluma. He got tangled up along the side. Remember now, every time Vanderbilt's going to line shooting 2, and good free throw shooters. Tyler Nickel, 85% from the line. He's made his only free throw attempt today, and he has 2 here.
And it gives them a chance on May to press.
First one for Nickel is good. Magnon back on the floor with 4 fouls. Jason Edwards checks out for the moment. That's for defense. Exactly 4.5 minutes remaining in the ballgame. Here's a second free throw for Tyler Nickel. Got that one as well. He has 14 points, 9.5. Nickel now checks out. And Roberts is back on for defense for Vanderbilt. 70-57, 13-point Longhorn lead. It's inbound into Kaluma, now to Pope. And he'll work the ball up the floor against pressure from Magnon, who has 4 fouls. Into the front court now. Magnon still guarding him tightly. Now to Tremont Mark. Mark, of course, out there playing with 4. Mark on the dribble. Rolls it to the left side. Now back to the right to Kaluma. Arthur holds up. 10 on the shot clock. Drives to the baseline against Roberts, who flopped and got the call. Well,
you're absolutely right on that.
He trampoline back. So Kaluma picks up his 3rd. And the Longhorns have kind of sputtered a bit offensively the last 3 trips down the floor. 70-57. 4:09 to go. Vanderbilt will inbound. And Edwards lets it roll all the way into the front court to keep the clock from starting. Now picks it up. Working against Pope on the left side. Nickel shoots a long contested 3. Off the back iron, no good. Deep rebound. Run down in the corner by Pope. Got rid of it to Tremont Mark. And Tremont will bring it into the front court. Down the lane, kicks to the left side. How about Johnson for 3? Nope. In and out. It rattled out on the rebound, McLaughlin. 3:45 left. Texas up 13, 70-57. Edwards goes around Mark, drives down the lane. Shot rejected, but back up. McLaughlin gets it. And another timeout called by Vanderbilt with 3:41 to go in the ball game. So we're due for the full timeout here with a score. Texas 70, Vanderbilt 59. Longhorn basketball continues in a moment.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Fly to Philly, take off to Tampa, depart for Denver. Following your team on the road is more rewarding with the American Airlines Advantage program. Your flights and everyday spend not only earn you miles towards your next trip, but also loyalty points toward Advantage status. All the more reason to purchase both a home and away jersey. With status comes great benefits like priority boarding, free checked bags, and complimentary upgrades. Not a member? Enroll for free today at AA.com. American Airlines, you are why we fly. Terms and conditions apply.
It's better over here.
After investing billions to light up our network, T-Mobile is America's largest 5G network. Plus, right now, you can switch, keep your phone, and we'll pay it off up to $800. See how you can save on every plan versus Verizon and AT&T at T-Mobile.com/across America.
Up to 4 lines via virtual prepaid card. Allow 15 days. Qualifying unlocked device credit service ported 90+ states with device and eligible carrier and timely redemption required. Card has no cash access and expires in 6 months.
Texas leading the lead, trimmed to 11. The Longhorns have led by as many as 18 here in the second half. They led by 15 at halftime, but it's down to 11, 70-59. Vanderbilt is down to 1 timeout remaining as Mark Byington elected to use one after that last bucket put home by Devin McLaughlin. So it's a 70-59 ball game in the second half. The Longhorns shooting 48%. That's where they're at for the ball game. Vanderbilt has picked it up now in the second half with a 43% shooting in the second half, 36% for the game. Rebounding edge down to 3 at 32-29. The turnovers 8 apiece. Points off the turnovers 8 apiece. Points in the paint favor Texas 32-30. So all the margins are narrowing right now as the clock is down to 3:41.
And this is where three-point defense comes into play. You got to play solid three-point defense because boom, boom, next thing you know it, they're back in the game pressing because of the three-point shot.
For Texas, Tremont Mark has 4 fouls. Caden Shedrick has 4 fouls. They're both still on the floor. Chris Magnon out. No, he's out there with 4 fouls. Devin McLaughlin has 4 fouls. So 2 players on each side playing with 4 personals. The Texas lineup is their original 5 of Jordan Pope, Tremont Mark, Trey Johnson, Arthur Kaluma, and Caden Shedrick. For Vanderbilt, Tyler Tanner is out there along with Chris Magnon, Jaqueline Roberts, Devin McLaughlin, and A.J. Hoggard. Inbounds pass, almost stolen with a foul. And that foul is going to result in a 1-and-1. The foul was on Jaqueline Roberts. That's his first. And so now it's a 1-and-1 for Tremont Mark, who this afternoon is 3 out of 4 from the line. The Longhorns are 16 for 21 from the free throw line, 76%, right at about their season average.
Good job not letting Kerry get going, getting started like he did in Nashville.
Here's Tremont with the front end of the 1-and-1. It is good. Oh, it hung on the rim. And one of the Commodores, McLaughlin, jumped up there, but he couldn't touch it, of course. Was hoping it would fall off. It didn't. It fell in, and it's good.
Boy, he timed it wrong, didn't he?
Second one to come for Tremont Mark. This one is good. That one all net. Tremont with 15. Texas up 13. 72-59. 3:39 to go. And again, Commodores let the ball roll up to near midcourt where it's scooped up by A.J. Hoggard to the right wing. To the right side. Long contested 3. McLaughlin off the mark and the rebound. Kaluma. They'll let him shoot that 3.
You're right about that. You got to get the ball in Edwards' hand if you're Vandy.
Into the front court. Here's Tremont Mark being guarded by Tyler Tanner. Down to 3:20 to go. Texas with the ball up 13, 72-59. Mark on the dribble left side. And, boy, that's Tyler Nickel just grabbing him and holding on to him. He says he was hooked, but that's Tyler Nickel just grabbing onto the arm. Happened right in front of us. We could see that. It's the 19th foul, so there's one more 1-and-1 situation here for this ball game, and Tremont Mark again on the line. So here's Tremont. Front end of the 1-and-1 is no good, and the rebound to Vanderbilt. Commodores with the ball. Texas up 13, 3:08 to go. Here's Hoggard right side, drives in, flips it back out. Tyler Nickel trying to drive on Shedrick, drops it to Tanner. He goes baseline, pulls it back out. Now Edwards drives in, stops, puts it in. Edwards off the glass. He has 17. The lead is down to 11. And they've stopped play. Tremont Mark.
They're hitting high.
Yeah, it looked like he might have. And, of course, Tremont got called for a flagrant 1. He wasn't even looking at the player he hit, but his arm swung around and caught Magnon in the face earlier in the second half. And that was his 4th foul, but he's staying out there. So Roberts checks out, Magnon back on. 2:49 to go. The lead again down to 11. This is as close as Vanderbilt has been at any point. Several times they've cut it to 11 in the second half, but they haven't been able to get it inside of double digits. 2:49 to go. It'll be inbounded against full court pressure. Pope running the baseline, inbounded to Kaluma. And it goes back to Pope. Into the front court, they break it. Here's Johnson on the left side. He'll pull it out now. So there was no foul there. It was just they were checking on Tremont Mark. He was all right. Johnson on the right side. Clock ticking. 2:35 to go. Deflected pass. Kaluma got it back in the corner. Pope thought about a 3. Passes on it. Pulls it out. 10 on the shot clock. 2.5 on the game clock. Here's Pope trying to drive on Magnon, who has 4 fouls. Bounce pass. Kaluma out to Pope. A 3-pointer. And in and out. Rattled in and out. And the rebound to Vanderbilt. 2:18 to go. Into the front court, driving. Hoggard lofts it with the right hand. He scores. So now it's down to 9. This is as close as Vanderbilt has been at any point in the second half. 2:05 to go. It's 72-63. Into the front court, a pass down into the corner to Pope. And then back out front to Trey Johnson. Under 2 minutes left. Johnson on the right side with it. Dribbling to the right wing. Trying to take Roberts off the dribble. Trapped in the corner now. 7 to shoot. Still with it. He'll fire up a 3. Off the rim, no good. Rebound, Magnon. Here comes Vanderbilt. 1:40 to go. Magnon driving down the lane. Dumped it underneath. McLaughlin scores. The lead is down to 7. Timeout, Texas. with 1:35 remaining in the ball game.
Well, they keep attacking the rim and getting results, but we got to take care of the ball and get it across. We don't have to rush. Move the ball, make them defend.
Well, and more's the point, Eddie. Got to make shots.
Yes.
Longhorns have missed a couple of good looks there and rattled around in both cases. One, that three would have been gigantic from Pope. It didn't stay down, and neither did the one from Trey Johnson. So you have to make shots as well to stem the tide. Right now, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification live from Nashville. You're listening to Texas Longhorns basketball from Learfield. Craig Way and Eddie Orrin with you from Bridgestone Arena here in Nashville, Tennessee, site of the 2025 Southeastern Conference Men's Basketball Tournament. In fact, this is going to be the site all the way, I think, through 2031. This is so well run here and so well attended in a great city like Nashville. The Texas Longhorn lead, which was at 18 here in the second half, has been trimmed to 7 with 1:35 to go. It's Texas 72, Vanderbilt 65, each team in the double bonus now. Longhorns, and apparently it was Vanderbilt, not Texas, that called the timeout. Rodney Terry was signaling for one, but it was already awarded to Vanderbilt. So that's important in that Mark Byington has no timeouts remaining. Rodney Terry has all 3 of his timeouts remaining. So Vanderbilt out of timeouts. Texas will inbound against full court pressure with 1:35 to go. Obviously, the Commodores studied the video of last Tuesday night's win when the Longhorns struggled to get the ball across midcourt against Mississippi State. Well, they don't struggle here. They get it in the front court to Trey Johnson. Now to Jordan Pope. Texas will try to run some clock and have it end in points. Tremont Mark has it. Back to Pope. Vanderbilt not wanting to foul yet. Pope holds it to the right side with it. 10 to shoot. 1:15 on the game clock. Pope rolls a dribble left wing. Now down to 5 on the shot clock. Tremont drives in the paint, in traffic. Shot no good, but he's fouled from behind. If it's on McLaughlin, he's done. It is, and he is. So Devin McLaughlin picks up his 5th foul. And on the line will be Tremont Mark, who missed that front end of a 1-and-1 a few minutes ago. But he's 5 for 7 from the line. He'll have 2 free throws here. And so both coaches using the foul disqualification as an opportunity for a mini timeout. And with 1:07 to go, it'll be Tremont Mark on the line. Now it's to the point, Eddie, like you say, protect the basketball, make your free throws. They're going to win the game.
Yeah, you make these free throws and you give a little token press, 3/4 full court press, just to try to take about 7 or 8 seconds off the clock before they get across the 10-second line.
Did they change the foul? They have changed the foul. It is not the 5th on McLaughlin. They have changed it. Instead, well, they announced the 2nd foul, but I'm seeing 1, 3. There it is. It's on Jaqueline Roberts, not on McLaughlin. So McLaughlin stays in the ball game. Roberts committed the foul. Tremont Mark on the line, shooting 2. Texas leads by 7, 72-65, with 1:07 remaining in the ball game. So here's Tremont with 2 free throws. First of 2 for Tremont Mark is good. Front rim, backboard, dropped in. He'll have 1 more. Here's the second one for Tremont. And that one, same deal. Front rim, backboard, drops in. 17 points for Tremont Mark. Longhorn lead is 9. 1:07 to go. Mark comes up to greet him to force Vanderbilt to pick up the ball. Well, he still hasn't picked it up. Now into the front court. Picks it up now. Hoggard to the right side. He drives around traffic and scores. Meanwhile, there's a Commodore down on the floor. It's Jason Edwards. Now the basket is good. The lead again cut to 7. There's 1:02 to go. And they're going to go back to the monitor to see if something flagrant, whether it was personal or accidental, happened.
Well, that's that play where they use the handoff to use as a screen.
9 points for Hogarden, and now they'll review it. And, well, Caden Shedrick was turning.
Yep.
And if they call it with the elbow, it would be a flagrant one, and it would be the 5th foul on Shedrick as they're looking. Now, he is in guarding position. He leans out. That's not flagrant, though. That's him running into it. It's got to be viewed as a basketball
once
play.
The contact was there, he released the hand. He didn't,
His back is to the player.
Yeah, he does not see the screen coming.
And he's trying to pick up Hogard on it. Well, let's see what the officials say as they view it. Doug Schau's the lead official right now. They're off the headset.
I don't think it's a flagrant.
And it is not being called a flagrant foul. It is not.
Continue play on and keep Texas ball on the baseline.
Okay. So Vanderbilt fans didn't like it, but that's a basketball play when you're going into it. Mike Eads, the supervisor of officials, is sitting here on press row with us, and he looked down to Chris Ogden, who's sitting near us, the general manager, and said, kind of shook his head to say, yep, that's not a flagrant.
He never saw the screen coming by Edwards.
So it'll be Longhorn ball with 1:02 remaining in the ball game. The lead again trimmed to 7. Texas up 74-67. So there will be full court pressure coming from Vanderbilt, no doubt. The Longhorns will inbound the ball.
And they may want to foul.
It would be 2 free throws if they do. Well, they inbound to Shedrick. You know they want to foul him quickly, and they did. Caton tried to get it back to Pope. Well, that was the guy. They said foul him. And Shedrick, who is 2 for 2 from the line today, will go to the line to shoot 2. Vanderbilt did what they wanted to do and foul the lower percentage free throw shooter. So now Shedrick will go to the line to shoot 2. Hogard picks up his 4th. And here's Shedrick shooting 2. He's 2 for 2 today. First one for Caden. It's no good. It rattled out. Kendall Weaver back on. Jordan Pope checks out. Tyler Tanner checks out for Vanderbilt. Chris Magnon back on the floor for the Commodores. Here's the second free throw for Shedrick. This one for Caden is good. Rattled around the rim and it fell. He has 9 points. He checks out now. And Jason Kemp back in. Texas up 8. 1 minute remaining in the ball game. They'll force Hogard to pick up the ball quicker now into the front court. Over to the right side. Sends it out front. Jason Edwards guarded by Jason Kent. Trying to go around him, and he fouled him. And Kent picks up the foul. His second. That's 2 free throws, and it's at 51 seconds on the clock.
Well, Vandy's done a good job of attacking the rim off the dribble.
Well, if Edwards hits both of these, and he's 5 out of 7 from the line, it would bring Vanderbilt as close as they've been since the first half. 2 within 6. A 2-possession game in essence. First one is good.
We set it up where Trey Johnson, you want your free throw shooters to get the ball.
Jason Kent checks out. Jordan Pope back on. Caden Shedrick returns. Kendall Weaver checks out. Here's the second free throw for Jason Edwards. And this one is no good. The rebound. Shedrick clears it for Texas. Longhorns with the ball. They have a 7-point lead. 45 seconds to go. 47 seconds. And Tremont Mark is fouled by Jason Edwards.
Yeah, they're forced to foul now.
So now, again, Tremont Mark on the line. And Tremont is 7 out of 9 from the line. Longhorns are 21 out of 28, right at their season average of 75%. So Tremont shooting 2. First one for Mark is good. We'll have one more. Tyler Nickel. A.J. Hogard back on the floor for Vanderbilt, replacing Tyler Tanner and Jaqueline Roberts. Kendall Weaver returns for Texas. Jordan Pope checks out. Here's the second of the 2 free throws for Tremont Mark, and it's good. Mark converts both. He has 19 points. 45 seconds to go. Texas up 9. 77-68. To the right side with it on the dribble. Hogarth, a step back three off the rim. No good. Rebound loose in the corner. Vanderbilt pulls it down. Now in the corner. Back out front. Pass picked off by Jason Kent. Kent into the front court. Drops it to Trey Johnson, but they fouled Kent. The foul is on Hogarth, and that would be his 5th. So, actually his 4th. So, now, yeah, it is his 5th. I had it right after all. On the board they had it 4, and now he has fouled out. .5 to go. Texas up 9 and closing in on winning their first ever SEC tournament game. So Jason Kent will go back to the line. He missed 2 free throws in the first half. He'll have 2 here. Making 1 would make it a 4-possession game. First one for Kent. Missed it. Long, right?
Long every time.
Okay, one more. Here's the second one for Kent. And this one. Yep. Missed that one long. Rebound. Vanderbilt. 25 seconds left. Out to Tyler Nickel. Guarded by Kendall Weaver. Now out front. Driving through some traffic. Tanner floats one in. Vanderbilt has no timeouts left. 17.7 to go. 77-70. Down to a 7-point lead, and the Longhorns have to use a timeout here to keep from encountering the danger of a 5-second count, and they'll get Caden Shedrick back on the floor. 77-70 again. 7 is as close as Vanderbilt has been at any point here in the second half, and they have several times down the stretch here, but the Longhorns have been able to persevere. Now, really and truly, if they can get the ball in bounds, then you're basically looking like they're going to have to foul again, and there's only 17 seconds left.
Exactly.
It's a 3-possession game right now. At 77-70, that would require at least 1 made 3-pointer. Vanderbilt, by the way, in threes this afternoon, 3 for 19. Boy, that's a change from last month.
It sure is.
Longhorns, by the way, 4 for 16. A lot better, but they've had some clutch ones, mainly from Trey Johnson, who's hit 3 of those 4. The other from Jordan Pope. So, Longhorns trying to hold on here and get the win. So, Texas would play Texas A&M tomorrow afternoon. Tip-off right around the same time, right around 2:30. We'd be on the air at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. From here, it'll be the 3rd meeting between the Longhorns and Aggies. They split the first 2, each team winning on its own home floor. It was the first ever SEC conference game. Texas A&M won that one back on January 4th, 80-60. And the Longhorns, of course, that memorable comeback, down 22 with 17 minutes to go, came back to beat A&M in Austin. So, the Longhorns to inbound the basketball with 17.7 to go. It'll be Pope inbounding to Shedrick, back to Jordan Pope. Vanderbilt has to foul immediately with 16 seconds left.
Shedrick did a good job of giving it up, not drawing the foul.
Foul was on Tyler Tanner. And now Pope on the line with 16 seconds to go. With Texas up 7, 77-70. And here's Pope to shoot 2. First one for Jordan is good. 10 of his 13 have come here in the second half. Pope, perfect 4 for 4 from the line. He has 1 more to come.
What time?
And the second one for Jordan Pope. And this one is good. And Pope checks out. Kendall Weaver back on. 16 seconds to go. Longhorns about to win their first ever SEC tournament game in their first try. Into the front court, here's Edwards. Driving against Trevon Mark, who lets him go, and he drives in and scores. But again, no timeouts remaining for Vanderbilt. 10.6 to go. It'll be inbounded to Kaluma, back to Johnson. Vanderbilt, the Commodores wave the white flag. The Texas Longhorns are 1,000% all-time in SEC tournament games. They win their first ever SEC tournament contest. Final score this afternoon from Bridgestone Arena in Nashville. The Texas Longhorns 79. The Vanderbilt Commodores 72. The Longhorns advance to the second round of the SEC tournament, and they will be taking on the Aggies of Texas A&M tomorrow afternoon at 2:30.
They never let Vanderbilt believe they could win this game. I thought